All right. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Kiki Green. This is a live stream. Many of you are listening in the playback, so I will not hold y'all up. Now you feel sick?
Yeah.
Because I pressed live. Now that's why you feel sick? What's wrong? Let me check your temperature. Oh, my God. He's like 1,000 degrees.
Yeah.
We need to rush you in here to the bed to watch a movie. You want some ice on your head when we make you an ice pack? Okay, go lay down. Oh, okay, go lay down, baby. Get under those covers. Go get under the covers, okay? I'm gonna bring you an ice pack for your head. This child so dramatic. What's up, y'all? Let me see. Hey, Kevin. How you doing? Who you doing? You know, they don't like to send out notifications over here. You know, YouTube is just giving me the blues. They was like, oh, wait a minute. We ain't been harassing Kiki. She been over here flying under the radar. Let's hurry up and harass her real quick, okay? So yesterday, I received a notice from YouTube giving me a copyright warning. Not a copyright warning. I'm sorry. I get those all the time for playing people's music. Giving me a community guideline. Right, warning. Yeah. They gave me a community guidelines warning for giving out medical misinformation, they called it, in regards to talking about the very fake, imaginary, planned breakdown of society of the New World Order that is currently going on. Okay, what's up, y'all? Hey, Lisa. Kids, right? What's up, Super Patriot? Kashara, hey. Indigenous M. Jones. I love that name. Okay, how you doing? Hey, Susie. I caught a live and can actually say this time. Oh, what's up? Okay, yeah, they gave me a warning, a community guidelines warning for telling people the truth. Okay, because that's what they don't want y'all to know. Y'all know on this show, we do a lot of cussing. We be playing ratchet music, talk about people all types of crazy, okay? Political correctness where? Not here. Thank you, K Petition. Okay, so for the slow people in the back, she gave y'all a hint. So, not for nothing else. Of all the things to be mad at me about, is because I took the time to give you the information and prove to you that there was some skullduggery going on. Okay, so now here's the thing. When we talked about this 2 years ago, that there would come a time when everybody would be on their own. I don't have to keep pushing this until YouTube forces it. For what? Because everything that needs to be said has been said. And at this point, if you don't know, you might not never not know. You might not never not know. Okay? This information has been available since the beginning of the internet. About 10, 11 years ago, YouTube was popping. It was all the really good information was there. So if you are just now waking up to the truth that everything that you think you know about this world and this country is a lie, if you just now waking up to that in 2021, you're going to be asked out and up shit's creek without a paddle. Because we can no longer even get on YouTube and point to you the information. Now on my Patreon, what's up, fan? How do I say your name? Anima Annie Mangan. I ain't gonna try. What's up, 342? So if you are one of those people who just got started paying attention, you're going to be asked out. And this is why a lot of our friends and family members are completely discombobulated right now, because they don't know who to trust. They don't know if they should trust what the medical professionals, bunny ears quotes, are telling them, or if they should trust what the truth seekers in the family that have probably been trying to wake these people up are saying. Well, hey, guess what? Had you been researching instead of running down to go get your fifth Popeye's chicken sandwich? Had you been playing some some informational type stuff? Had you been ingesting informative type materials and not just sitting up popping your fingers? Had you been reading books and taking trips to the library instead of rushing to be in the club free before 11, then you would not be standing here confused. So keep that in mind for those of you who have been putting the work in, and those of you who have been researching, and those of you who have sat around and got lambasted, let people call you crazy, and all of the things that come with being a truth seeker. Okay, now that these people are confused, now they calling your phone, and now they want to pick your brain and waste your time. And this is the time where the people who know what's going on have more peace of mind than the people who have been listening to the mainstream, because here you are now fully committed to listening to the mainstream. You've worn your face diaper. You have socially distanced 6 feet. You didn't go see grandma. You didn't go to your aunt's funeral. You didn't have a graduation. You didn't go to prom. You didn't experience these things. Mommy. Yes. Sheesh. Sorry, they fighting over the TV volume because he can't hear Sports Center over her Godzilla. But my name is Bennett, and I'm not in it. Mommy need an hour. Okay, what's up, Midlove? Fascism is sneaking in the front door. Exactly. So the people who have not been paying attention, they out here mad confused because they have listened to the mainstream media and did everything the mainstream media told them, only for the mainstream to come back now and say, we want you to take this here thing, just trust us and follow along with it like you followed along everything else. We don't have to answer your questions. And matter of fact, if you even question us, you're in the wrong. And your social distancing and all those events that you missed and all of that, none of that worked. In fact, there's a new strain. There's a new this, there's a new that. Okay. So there's all that going on. So now that they're realizing that the mainstream media can't be trusted, or at the very least, they don't know what they're talking about. Now they want to call you up, waste all your damn time, keep you on the phone because you got free nights and weekends, talking about this curse when we all know, we know what the fake news is. And that's the thing about when people are telling a lie. If you're lying about something, it's all a lie. And I have studied these people long enough to know they don't ever tell the truth about nothing. They didn't even give you a part of the truth. You know, most people believe, okay, there's probably some truth to it, but knowing them, there's a deception. There's no truth to it because they don't have to put a truth to it. All they got to do is come and stifle the truth. Now, combined with that going on, I also have some haters as well. So it's quite possible that my channel was flagged by some of these people who are upset. Okay, I don't know that to be true. However, my spidey senses, okay, had already told me that this was coming before it came, and why. So therefore, I am inclined to believe my first mind that there's also a tinge of hateration in the dancery. Okay, so people hate me so much, they want to strike my channel so I can't give out life-saving information. That's going to be between them and God. And it's not going to be pretty. Okay, so congratulations, you played yourself. That's what we've been giving out over here. Life-saving information. And we've been doing it since 2016 here on this channel. And I've been doing it since even long before that. Life-saving information. Now that we are all here in the place that we knew we would end up, had the rest of the country not woken up, now they want to harass us. Nope, I have every streaming service known to man, and I'm just going to ride the apocalypse out. What I'm not going to be doing is screaming and crying, wailing in the streets, begging y'all to wake up. Because quite frankly, me and the Illuminati don't even like the same people. Quite frankly, I'm not going to miss none of you vaccinated people. I'm not even going to miss you. The main people who went out and got vaccinated, they ran out to get it in order to spite other people. They ran out to get it to prove to somebody who was trying to help them that they didn't know what they was talking about. And those people are now, y'all, alive. It's a ticking time bomb. I have no idea what they plan to do with you, iRobot, but you are no longer human. Congratulations. You played yourself. You've had too much time. Now, the elderly people who don't have any control over their faculties because they all doped up and they're using them as guinea pigs and whatnot, then I guess they innocent. But it's people running around here that's acting like they too old to use the internet because they 50 years old. I don't want to hear none of that. Y'all have had the time. Y'all have played the games. You all have done nothing but come against the people who have tried to show you and teach you the truth. Not just about the government, not just about the medical industry, but within your families. The people that say, hey, it's something funny about him. The people who say, why is my uncle still coming over here after what he did to cousin so-and-so? Those are the black sheeps of the family. Are usually the people who are the most perceptive, who are trying to wake people up to something, who are trying to establish some type of normalcy and standard. And y'all got rid of those people, and now is the time where you need them because those people have been alone in the wilderness figuring out their way, and they know which doors to go through. And the people who have been clicked up and huddled up amongst each other don't know shit from Shinola. And I don't have no sympathy. It's just hashtag too bad. So that's that on that. So now, with that being said, the community strike that they tried, the warning that they gave me was on a video that's already weeks old. And YouTube does this. They'll go back and give me copyrights or whatever on old videos. So if you look, a lot of my lives have been removed, going back to where we started talking about this type of situation. If they turn around and they give me an actual strike for real, then they're going to put my channel on hold from uploading for like a week. And then I don't know where it goes from there. So I have other things that we could be talking about. So we're going to talk about some other stuff, and we're going to let the YouTube apocalypse, whatever it is they got going, we're going to let them kind of hit and swing everybody else. And we're going to talk about some other stuff. But I think my position on that is very clear. And, you can find me on Instagram and we can have a one-on-one for sure. But as far as YouTube is concerned, we can no longer sit up here and talk about what's going on behind the curtain for 6 hours because they is out here hating on a sister. Okay, but what the hell else is new? Hey, Felicia. Greetings from the Netherlands. That's what's up. Okay, worldwide. Rocio, hey. No one is doing any research, and it's so frustrating. They're literally following what the news is telling them, and that's about it. It's just like the movie Pinocchio. Me and my daughter just watched it a couple weeks ago. Okay? You know so much. Go ahead over there with them. Now, when you turn into a Democrat, a jackass, don't come crying to me. What's up, Gio? Where are you in the world? Gio always on the move. What's up, Northern Belle? Got to build a round house so the devil can't corner you. Susie. What Susie say? Yeah, I'm sure Bill Gates donates a ton of money to YouTube. Well, we saw when YouTube, the original owners got bought out, and it's all been kind of downhill from there. A quack, flip-flopping over a year. Well, And yeah, he still has a job. What's up, Mo? Karen's always going to get triggered by the truth. You know what? In this particular situation, this is not a Karen situation we have going on. This is a people think that they is going to use Kiki, and Kiki has been all the way hip to it, and they cannot use me in the manners that they thought that they was going to be able to. Because apparently, when you go out here and tell people you're educated, it don't matter how many times I can tell somebody I'm from South Central. Okay, some kind of way the master's degree is supposed to remove all of the street smarts out your brain and make you some kind of sucker. You know what I'm saying? When you speak well and you present, which is why I try not to code switch. I don't code switch. Like, this is me. You feel me? But because I don't want to give out that impression. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because ghetto people will always think that they know more than educated people. And that has a lot to do with the way that that black folks act. A lot of times they get bougie or whatever and they get some education. And then you got black folks that's come from elitist lines and stuff like that don't know nothing about the streets. Okay. And you got your phony Tamika Mallory's and them people running around here that got everybody confused. So come over here with that foolishness, though. You will have your people mixed. You cannot use me. You cannot use me. You cannot use my brain. You cannot use my brain for nefarious means. And when I put a stop to it, this is where a majority of my vigilant haters come from. Not people I did something wrong to, but people that I tried to help that got greedy and did too much. Okay, so just that's that on that. In Karen defense, when it's Karens, then it's Karens. But this right here, I don't think it's the Karens. And y'all would be surprised. You know, a lot of YouTubers have a lot of beef. There's a whole beef sector. They go back and forth. And some of that is to build up their channel. Some of that is they don't have nothing else to talk about. But I see how easily it happens because you make friends through the YouTube and people make friends with each other. People make friends with other content creators. And then they talk about each other behind their back. They tell people's business and that type of stuff like that. And then the YouTuber gets on channel and feels a need to defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I have had several incidents that I could have brought to y'all over the past 4 years. But in an effort to not be messy, number one, and to not give clout where clout is not deserved, I just let it rock. But it be all type of stuff going on. People crazy. Y'all already know. People is crazy, but I'm the psychologist, okay? So I cannot be letting them Jedi mind trick. Mwah. 342 said, we got to chill like Trump. He did all we could. You did all you could, Kiki. You were trying to call out the foolery. People didn't listen. And some people did. You know, a lot of people did. And the ones that didn't is sitting up right now doing the Harlem Shake uncontrollably, talking about, I should have listened. My husband in the background doing the Harlem Shake. Oh, wow, there's a lot of creators saying they're being attacked right now, being gang stalked and bullied to change their content. Yeah, it's all kinds of stuff going on. As far as I'm not experiencing the gang stalking and the bullying per se, that normally comes from the manosphere, you know what I'm saying? But what you catch my drift. What's up, Keontae? It is frustrating. If you look at YouTube, it's a dry ass desert right now. I can't whistle good with these braces. If you ever get braces, just so you know, you won't be able to whistle right. Because it's letting air out through the braces, so I can't get my real whistle on. I'm hearing stuff from people that got shots, a bunch of stuff. So people who are really heavily medicated didn't feel much, but the people who aren't had a side effect of anxiety. They felt it. And if you go to the website for the Christmas Decorations Control Group, if you go on their website, there you can find all the complaints that have been made and all of the opposite of life reactions people have received. You know, in the Bible, it says you're going to have to walk away from your mama and your daddy and all them people. And this is where it's coming at. This is where it's come to. And then where we have to, we're going to all be, this is what it is. This is just what it is. We don't know where it's going. We don't know what's happening. I've seen a lot of people say that. My parents, my grandparents, the people closest to siblings. You know, so while we are waiting on the market of beasts, I don't know if it's here or not, but guess what? Now is the time where we're going to have to draw a line in the sand, and some of these relationships, we're going to have to change the dynamics of, because where this is going. And see, my whole thing is that when I warn you and you do it anyway, you got to take me off your emergency contact. This reminds me a lot of when I was in college and people started pledging Greek fraternities and sororities. When I started in pre-college, we was all getting along like one great big old happy family. Like, wow, I have never enjoyed so many Black people before at one time. Like, who knew that we had some sense? Because I didn't. You feel me? And then freshman year, it was just roses and blue and white parties and slumber parties and pizzas. Sophomore year, when people started expressing interest that they wanted to join these fraternities, I'm talking about before they started hazing them and shoving their heads in the toilet, okay? The beginning of sophomore year, when they became aware of the fact that they needed to be selected, okay, that they needed to be selected to sell their soul to the devil. Friendships, people who were best friends, me and my best friend, those relationships were tarnished because these people decided that they wanted to go and join a cult and sell their soul to the devil. That's essentially what they did. Some kind of way they sold their soul and wrote a check. I don't really know how that worked. I'm not a Luciferian, okay? But they sold their soul and they paid for it. And the people who were not participating, the people who were not in fraternities and so, you just could no longer even be friends with them. It wasn't because they were too busy. It was because they started lying. They started sneaking around. They were hanging out with and associating with people who just last year they didn't like and they was talking crazy about, but now they are buddy with people they was talking crazy about because they both want to sell their soul together, and then they want to gang up on the people who aren't interested. They have to make it look like there's something wrong with you to keep the superiority of the cult intact. Everybody who is not in it has to be treated like scum. And then after they got through selling their soul and pledging and all of that, they still wasn't satisfied. And those relationships never repaired. And I still don't like them bitches to today. Today, still don't like them. They became worse and worse people. I've seen DST hold half naked. I mean, these girls will walk around. Any girl who had was attractive, they were automatically calling them girls hoes and trying to ruin their social life. Only for me to catch these heifers having private lingerie parties with dudes from like math class. They didn't even have the common sense to go to another school and get some boys. Okay. Just the complete worst college girl behavior coming from these people who are supposed to be. So I just that's a whole nother conversation. But the point is that the orchestrator of the deception is coming from the same group. Okay. Your Greek fraternities are brought to you by the same makers of the Mark of the Beast. This is all the same people. And when people start giving over their life, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly to the dark side, it's going to be hard for y'all to get along. Because why? Because your spirit is going to agitate them demons. Weak people hate strength. That's right. I've been hearing them say for weeks now they are willing to change their content. Yeah, I mean, insecure people always want to bring people down to their level. That's right, Lady Erzuli. I like that name too. That's cool. You can barely talk sense into people, including family. They sound crazy and brainwashed. They are crazy and brainwashed. But look what they're doing it for. This is how you sell your soul. They're not doing it to be healthier. They're not sick. They are doing it for moral superiority. They are doing it for some type of empty pleasure of some bragging rights. You know what I'm saying? Or to belong to to belong. There is no actual good reason. And they have not been presented with a good reason. They're still going to act on it anyway, like a bull in a china shop. Honey, I'm getting out the way. What's up, crypto? Of course, Melanin, they're not going to listen. Of course. I thought I was the only one who felt that way about family. You got to keep reminding yourself that I'm related. I got to keep reminding myself I'm related to them. Lisa said maybe the New World Order is fun for smart people. I mean, it basically is what I think it is. How these things happen is really, really intelligent, STEM kind of minded people get together and try to figure out how they can cut back on resources. And I mean, it doesn't take very much statistical analysis to find out that the dumbest people consume most of everything. And it's not just the consumption, but we've got everybody addicted to plastic. We've got everybody addicted to portable things. You know what I mean? The milkman's not dropping off a glass of milk. You have to go to the grocery store and spend $6 to get a big plastic gallon. Well, once you get done drinking it, where does it go? Where does that plastic gallon go? And you've got everybody in the world hooked up on this. Why? Because these companies wanted people to consume, which requires packaging. You didn't want nobody to grow their own food, so this requires packaging. So in a very short period of time, they have created a whole bunch of trash and didn't bother to figure out where to put it. And that's causing pollution, and it's causing people to get sick, on top of the factories, on top of what's being emitted out of these automobiles. It ain't the hairspray. The corporations created the problem, and the corporations have to come up with the solution. Now, their solution is not going to be for them to dissolve and go away and stop creating pollution and stop putting stuff in plastic and all that. That's not going to be the solution. It's for them to cut down what they're doing. Their solution is to blame it on everybody else. The conversation that's constantly being had about global warming is so comical to me because it's never about pollution. Some kind of way they talk about, well, your carbon footprint, your breathing, your eating cows, your hairspray, That's what's causing a problem. It's not the factories that are burning rubber all day. That ain't got nothing to do with it. It's not all these buses taking people to these sorry ass jobs. That has nothing to do with it. It's you and that steak that you had last night. That's what's doing it. I saw a meme earlier that said, that said, Bill Gates claims that a cow is as harmful to the environment as a car. He said, so how about you lock yourself up in your garage with your car running, and I lock myself in the garage with a cow, and then we talk about it tomorrow over breakfast. Just simple using your brain. Now, does that mean that there isn't changes happening to the environment? Of course there are, but guess what? We, the people, are not causing those changes. These corporate assholes are causing them. The same people who tried to enter us into that TPP plan so that they could punish countries for not producing enough revenue for them. So, like, if y'all don't cut it out, I don't know anyone who's gotten it as of yet, or at least they haven't said so. I don't talk to nobody, Bill, so I wouldn't even know. Lady Urzuli said, my uncle is 84. He stays in the house, but his wife made him get it so they could go to the damn casino. Priorities. Priorities. And what casino is requiring that? That's interesting as well. Oh, tell me about the crypto. I just can't. 2 Freemason halls burned down in my city. And where are you again, crypto? I used to be extremely close to my grandma, but every time I tell her don't get it, whenever she brings it up, she cuts me off and wants to get off the phone with me. Yeah, I have just not even been having them conversations because y'all know I have been talking about that situation with this particular product. I have been talking about that since before the curse. I have been talking about this as it pertains to small children, as it pertains to third world countries, as it pertains to them using our children to make profit. I told you guys to go watch that movie Snowpiercer. I know they turned it into a series. I don't have the attention span for a whole series, but a whole movie though, you got me. And I don't want to give away the end of the movie, but it's very important. Now we understand what our civilization really depends on our children, and we do nothing but feed off of. They basically, the whole culture is designed to just use children, just use them up, exploit them, use them up, make money off of them. From the education system to the healthcare industry, everybody's lining their pockets up. The kids get absolutely nothing out of it, and they're zombies by the time they become adults because they have been sucked on by vampires for 18 years. You don't need to be in high school till you're 18. Y'all are wasting our time. Let them damn kids go since they know everything. Let them go be wrong. I think at 16 is at least fair. Let them vote. Let them vote. Let them go to war. Let them go to college. Get them out your house. 16. You got you a driver's license. Goodbye. No, that's not old enough. They're not mature enough. You know why they're not mature enough? Because they don't have any responsibility for 18 years. And it's making horrible people. Have you noticed? Okay, a little bit of child labor ain't hurt nobody. Revelation 13:16 through the 18th. The second beast causes people to be marked on their right hand or forehead. If they do not have the mark of the beast, they cannot buy or sell. Who cares? I have Bitcoin. Nobody can control anything that is desensitized. Well, you know, that's what they're working on. It's them damn stimulus checks got brothers waiting outside the Nike store in Harlem and sisters waiting outside the nail salon. Well, you know, that does have a lot to do with it because I'm really trying to figure out why nobody's looking for vice president. Nobody's asking her for anything. We're more intelligent. Well, obviously. Obviously, it's now clear who the smart people are and who they are not. And I mean, it's so obvious. I do appreciate that, Illuminati. You sure made it easier for me to identify a damn fool from far away. It's a racket, the whole global warming. Dump stimulus checks and a Bitcoin make more money. You've been telling us that forever. Sweetheart. Mommy's talking, baby. What happened to King Kong? You can go watch a movie? Go watch a movie. No. Well, I'll come in there. I'm changing the channel. We're going to watch something else. Okay, the whole ozone layer came from chemicals they use. The hole in the ozone layer came from chemicals they used in AC and refrigerator. And last time I checked, the largest hole in the ozone layer was over Antarctica. So I don't know what they're doing, but you and that steak. Now eat these crickets. Oh, the passport. Yeah, I mean, I'm just, the sun is causing climate change every day. Ain't that weird? It just be getting hotter and colder around here. It just be getting hotter and colder, I tell you. Yeah, that passport. I mean, people got to stand up. Our cars ain't heating up Mars. Repetition eventually works. I just turned 23, moving out on my own to a whole different city last year. Pandemic be damned. I wonder why I didn't do it sooner. Well, good for you. The New Testament is just their plan, not divinely inspired. You know, them people been picking and poking and changing and doing this, and they can't be trusted with nothing. With nothing. Okay, geoengineering the weather is poisoning the atmosphere. Yeah, they use certain chemicals that's going to make things colder or warmer or move winds in a particular direction, plus whatever nature is trying to do, and it just turns into a disaster. Biden's just warming Kamala's seat. Speaking of discernment, the last show, we spent time talking about that clown fool, Derek Jackson, and his wife, Dania Jackson. Okay. And in that video, Tabitha and I predicted several things. Now, to be clear, because I listened back on it and I know some women may even feel like I was harder on women or whatever, but it was more so of I think it's very obvious to everybody. I mean, even the worst men alive on YouTube were like, oh yeah, this guy right here is taking it too far. So I think there's a general consensus that he's in the wrong. The part that was concerning to me is that people could not see Dania for who she truly was. Okay? But I called it, didn't I, Northern Belle? I called several things, and so I just like to gloat and bring that up because nobody else will say it if I don't say anything, although several YouTubers did very much listen, study, and take notes, because then they created for my one video, they went and created a series of videos repeating what I said. What else is new? If you guys want to chime in on anything, I'm going to throw the link in here. I promised my husband, that I would keep it to a minimum this evening. But then we just take a moment to brag about the things that I predicted correctly. Now, one of my things was that she was a damn liar. One of my main things with that woman was that she was a liar. That was my whole thing. That not only are you a liar, but you're using God to make you appear to be more credible in your deception. This woman sat there with him holding her hand. And now if you go back and you watch the interview with the two of them together now, especially after this conversation, then the body language will make sense. And the body language experts kind of did a piss poor job because they were only looking at him, and then they were assuming, they made assumptions about her. Okay. But in hindsight, now having the confirmations that we got from the third mistress, now we know how right I was. And now we know what that body language was. And why this is important is because this is a regular occurrence where people come out and they use God and Christianity and make Christians look bad, and they garner support when they're doing evil, nefarious things. What's evil? What's evil is that you know good and well that your man ain't no good. Yet you stand by his side and you help him sell books and you help him in the deception. So you are an accessory to the crime after the fact. And if I were going to sue him, then I could sue her too. You continue to be an accessory to the crime after the fact when he got busted and you came out with him to help him to save the face and save the brand. Now, she didn't say, we're Christians, we believe in forgiveness, God's still working on him, I ain't leaving my man no matter what because I'm madly in love with him and I don't want to break up our family. She didn't say that. She didn't show any emotion. She didn't show any tears. Instead, what she did, she sat there. Hey, Tab, you coming on? Instead, what the heifer did was she came on there and said, This man gave his life over to Christ 6 months ago. This is how big of a liar that this hoe is. She said he gave his life over 6 months ago. He has been a wonderful husband. He ain't did nothing wrong. He's spending time with the kids. He's being more respectful to me. He's coming home every night. And that's why I forgive him. And when people came at her and they said, sis, blink twice. Are you okay? You sitting there looking crazy with the bonnet on. You sure? She came back and subsequently did a few other videos without his presence. She came, drum major. She came back and did several other videos. And in these other videos, she was basically saying, you know, I've got the bonnet is the helmet of righteousness, and my shirt is the breastplate, and this, that, and the third. She's using Bible scriptures and quotes and everything like that to convince people that she is actually a Christian. But in reality, all she was doing was further, like I just said, she was just trying to convince people that she's a Christian to help to garner that sympathy and to smooth things over so that she could continue to live in what she called a mansion, that they said the house that these people live in is worth over $1 million, which is more than enough reason for somebody to come out and lie through their teeth. The reason she wore the bonnet and she came out there looking homey like that is so that you would buy the Christian act. Because see, a narcissist creates your profile for you, and that's who they're talking to. They're never talking to you. The narcissist is talking to their image, fake creation of you. So the fake creation of what a Christian is and what she sees you all as is weak, gullible, and homey. And so that's what she tried to embody just so that you would believe it and you would continue to watch his channel and you would continue to buy things from him. How do I know for a fact that she's lying? Well, because then after they did this, Tasha K came out again with the actual mistress. Now, I told you he was in love with somebody. Didn't I tell you that? I told you he was in love with somebody who was probably more compatible to him. And I told you she would actually have it. There would be a threat to her marriage the minute somebody came around who actually had some money so that he would have something to parachute to because he's going to have to cash Molly the maid out. Molly the maid got to get cashed out. Denia. She got to get cashed out. So he has to jump into a lifeboat with a woman who has money, not somebody else who needs to be taken care of. So I said those other mistresses you ain't got to worry nothing about. But it's a woman somewhere he's in love with that got some money, that has some shit going for herself. And that is what the problem and the issue is. Reason why a homegirl called herself trying to put her damn foot down and run interference. And I also believe, based on conversations from the other girls involved, it's quite possible that Tasha K was used by the wife and these other women to put him in this position, but they didn't. But they didn't. They thought that they could control the narrative. They didn't expect it to play out the way that it has played out in terms of them getting stone cold busted about this other woman that actually got pregnant by him and never told us whether or not she kept the baby. So she could still be pregnant. We don't know. The woman is studying to be a doctor. So there's the money he was looking for. By her own admission, she got a big booty, and I believe her. Okay? Because who gonna lie on their booty? So I believe her. I believe her. Okay, Tab, I added Tab to the chat. We got Shirley up in here.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
So what did you want to speak on, Tab? How do you feel about the way that this played out? Because we surely told these people.
I mean, we told everybody. I kept saying for the longest, the wife, he's not in love with that woman, and she is not in love with him. I mean, I guess when you've seen this act go on where they try to use God to glaze over the fact that she has dirt on her hands. She sat there the entire time watching this man manipulate women for years. She is not a victim. I mean, we told everybody. I mean, it was another woman the entire time. I said, he's gonna need someone that he can fall back on that can take care of him. Boop, let me get a doctor. There's the money right there. Their wife is completely useless.
How do you feel about the fact? How do you feel about the fact that since this new revelation has come out, we ain't heard from nobody? Now nobody got nothing to say?
Thank you. So they just gonna disappear? Not the Christians, not the holier than thou. They need to keep spreading this word because it's a whole lot.
Breastplate of righteousness.
Yeah, you don't stop. This is a mission that you guys need to be on. Can you imagine the many people that they can save if this was even true? Come on now, that script that they read off of, this was a whole complete lie.
They read off of.
Yes, that was a script they was reading off of. That damn Christian, and that other woman said so. She says, "I don't know who this is out here praying and raising his hand and all the pictures inside the church. She know him. She know that man. She know that he ain't no Christian."
Look, I bet y'all $20 her parents came and got her because the tab, remember I was saying to you, I believe that the Christian act is twofold. Yep. When he hit her, the parents forced her to go home. That's what one of the mistresses said, right? Mm-hmm. I don't like the term side chick because the side chicks know him better than this hoe.
Thank you.
Okay, so look, when I said the parents came and got her, because something went on in that house. And the two of them decided they was going to convince the parents that he had given his life over to Christ. And the parents is probably older and ain't on the internet like that. So they went on ahead and the rules was for the parents. And then they realized that they could make some money at it while they was in it. That's what I think happened. Yep. So the parents let her go home, and then that incentivized her. That's why she hopped on there like that. This girl's goals and missions didn't have nothing to do with his cheating. So she hopped on there, convinced not just us, but her parents. Baby, stop talking. Convinced her parents that he was a Christian too, and everybody bought it and ate it up. But when the third girl came out and said, he was over here last week, sitting in my parking lot for 2 hours waiting on me to come out so we could do it in the car, that's when the parents said, okay, and they came and got that heifer. And that's why you ain't seen her, and you ain't going to see her no more. That's what I think happened. What you think, Shirley?
I have a different perspective of this whole transaction. I believe these are plans of distractions within the Black community. Because who is this nigga? Ain't nobody really know this man. This man's got E! Entertainment Canada that did a whole video on him. I'm just like, who is this man? This is called plants of distraction. This is a hoax to keep us distracted emotionally on stories that are not going to embody us, build us. Because only the Black community is talking about this, right? Only white people ain't talking about this man and this woman with this do-rag on her head. Girl got the do-rag on her head. What kind of man want a woman with do-rag on her head? She wanted to do this video and look like that. Oh,
and we know there's some credence to what you're saying because we do know that there was some deal, some kind of way TD Jakes is involved in this.
Yep, $100,000 or more.
The church is under fire for several.
Somebody's getting paid. Someone's pulling us away from what's going on in the world and in America and with our own lives, talking about this bunch of bullshit. And let me tell you, this man's narcissistic because when you watch the video where he speaks of himself in third person, and then he goes into a fourth person conversation. Looks like Derek Jackson, if y'all want to know what we're talking about, Jaxn. He goes in himself saying, let's talk about this couple right here. Now, I hear what she's saying, but I can relate to this man. Nigga, that is you. That's you. How can you relate to somebody that's you talking to yourself in the video? I said, oh my God. Like, this man is trending all on my filter, watching all everybody talk about him. I said, I ain't even focusing on this, but it's just amazing to me as the story continues to unfold. And you know, Tisha K is all on this. It's just buffoonery. So as we grow as a culture of people, again, this is the difference between a YouTube like Tisha K and Kiki Green and myself, how Kiki's going to bring you the raw deal. She's going to tell you how this sets a course for a lot of things to come that we'll find out that all these people underground paid at the end. So at the end, it's like, oh, this whole thing is a hoax. That's how I think about
it. I definitely, what I think is that it started off as a hoax. He was supposed to fall and then be kind of reborn as a Christian. And then they were going to run off into the sunset with these books and all this other type of stuff was supposed to happen. But him being the ninja that he is, did not inform the real girlfriend of none of the rules and let her find out, to call and threaten her and all of that. And got the spot.
That's one thought. Or the other thought is the girlfriend knew this was coming and this was all charted out. Look, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to come out and boom, boom, boom. I'm going to say this. Then you come in and some other girls may come in probably. And then my wife's going to come on. I just think as it kept evolving, he just kept promoting himself. Buy my book, watch my CDs, da, da, da. I mean, and now he's got all this traction to everybody. So where is he? I want to see his past videos. I want to see his past works to see if I might want to follow him. In the meantime, we are distracted. We as Black people. This does not provide any in-depth of substance. And Kiki Green is about substance. I'm about substance. Instead, we are giving more energy to the non-substance issues that now this is part of the Black community. And how so? It doesn't help ADOS Black men. The alpha Black man is another one suppressed and a used brother. He's using Black women. Well, that ain't nothing new. There's always Negroes who do that.
It's nothing new. What's happening though, is that, especially dealing with a lot of these narcissistic men, they are able to create a persona for the public. Their mother pretends like she don't notice. The family unit doesn't pretend. Everybody pretends like this guy is perfect, and they add credibility to the man. So they meet a woman who says, hey, I'm in med school. I've got my own stuff. I don't have any kids. I'm looking for love. I'm looking for a relationship. Oh, well, I'm a relationship coach and I'm this and I'm this and I'm that. Who wouldn't even have that intro short story to use if it wasn't for the other people in his life that support it. And then turn around. Now you've got yourself into an entanglement with somebody who on paper looks eligible, but in reality is your worst nightmare. And that is what educated, attractive women encounter probably 8 out of 10 times. So when we have these conversations, the guys from the manosphere that can't understand why educated, intelligent women are having a problem with men, well, guess what? They don't even fall in the category of men, they don't even have the muscles. They ain't even tall and muscular. They don't even have that going for them. So they don't even attract the type of women that Derrick Jaxn takes and uses up and throws and wastes. They don't even attract those women. So we have a bunch of men. It's the same thing with class as terms as money is concerned. Same thing with terms of relationships. And as women develop, you go from the devil, how they say the devil in the streets to the devil in the suites. And this is one of those devil in the suites type situations. So that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure with my platform that I let young women know about, because we're constantly being told when you're young, especially, the prettiest girl gets the guy, this, that, and the third. But then we find out that men treat pretty women like they're stupid, like they're disposable, and that ain't enough. So then women go get education and start trying to do things to themselves so they fit out. They stand out. I don't want to be approached. I don't want somebody to approach me and think that I'm easy or that I'm a hoe or that I'm dumb or I'm going for it. So I'm going to start off and let men know, hey, I'm educated. I got my own stuff. And if I'm with you, it's because I want to be with you, not because I need you. Well, what is the men on the internet do? They come and tell women your education doesn't matter. Men don't want to hear that. Men don't care about that. No, these F boys don't care about that. So what happens is that women get an idealized image and list of what the perfect man is that is going to be mature enough to accept them for who they are. And what that looks like in the imagination is a man who takes care of himself and who is professional and has been through some stuff himself and who has options enough to where he don't have to waste a woman's time. And then when a woman meets that guy, she think, okay, now we getting somewhere. If this don't work, it's because we incompatible and this ain't the same, how they call them Pookie and Ray Ray. Honey, Derrick Jaxn is the same Pookie and Ray Ray, and you have been fooled. This Pookie. In fact, had you got him coming fresh out of jail, you would have got treated better than how that fool is over there treating women.
And it was all a build-up because it was all a plan, because I had been following Derrick Jaxn not because I was just really entered. You know, he would say some things that I'm like, okay, that's good. But Derrick Jaxn used to sell sex oils and candles. Like nobody remembers that because they don't know who he was.
Right.
And I said, well, I said the reason why I knew this was a buildup because all of a sudden he went from selling sex oils and candles and all that kind of stuff to, oh, let's sell like the Christian t-shirts. All of this stuff was a build up to this point because that was drying up. Because if anybody knows, the money is in the church.
Preach.
That's where the money
is. Money hand over fist.
If you want your cup to run it over, you got to get involved in the church because it's only so much that people want to keep buying them books if he was even selling that much. And plus, he didn't even write them. I don't even believe it.
And the church, the old church, black church money is old people. So that new generation in that church, that is some older stuff. That's old money that he's trying to go after. The old money.
Mm-hmm.
Not old people, but just the old money. And I would even add on the old people. Look, if you look at this girl, then they showed another picture where she's like dressed real homely, like she's one of them holiest. But there was a time when they had these people called the holy people, right? And the black community, it meant no makeup, no stockings. Everything was covered up. Like if there was covered up or it was no anything to make a man attracted to you, the holiest people. So that's what she's kind of come off like. I'm holier than thou. Like a holy woman's gonna walk around with a thing on her head looking like that with no makeup, and then he gonna say, well, come buy my book with my wedding photo, and then she's all dolled up on there. I said, this ain't nothing but plants of distraction. That's
and if you've seen the church that they go to, it's a church full of actors, and that's what she does in his church.
No.
It's one of those churches. First of all, the pastor is not black. Okay, because let me tell you, black women that go to black churches, they don't come outside with no bonnet on their head, especially not for no video, honey. Child. That would never happen. That would have never happened. Not coming out of TD Jakes or somebody, honey, child. She might have had some rhinestones on her hat. It wasn't gonna be no bonnet. Come no bonnet of righteousness. The black church didn't do that. That's what she thinks of you. She has contempt for the black community. Anybody who is going to if y'all have looked up this church. Okay, it's if y'all know how you be on, if you ever watch back before we had streaming services, when TV go off and them televangelists come on and they like buy my green cloth and put some money in your pocket to get the healing people that he couldn't walk, now he could walk, and come to find out these people are paid actors. She goes to a church like that where the pastor spraying a woman's vagina in front of everybody trying to exercise the sex demon and simulating giving fellatio to exercise fellatio.
The pastor is a new age Benny Hinn. That's who he is, a new age Benny Hinn.
Y'all educating me.
So you can't come out to the black community and say you a Christian and you go to church and that's why and then we go look up your church and you in there doing this. That is not what black people mean by church. We don't mean that. No. This by my miracle spring water.
That's what they do. I mean, that church is ridiculous. I looked at that church, some folk were rolling around and rolled up in sheets and all falling. I said, what in the Benny Hinn is this? What's going on? Getting healed and paralyzed. She ain't nothing but a recruiter for their church. That's what kind of church she go to. She is a recruiter.
Lady Arzuli said this isn't the Agape Church, is it? No, I don't know, but is the Agape? Is that the one in Fox Hills in LA? Because somebody took me to one of them weird ass Oprah churches. They wasn't in there doing all of that, but they had it. It was the Gay Missionary Choirs Appreciation Week.
Is it Reverend Jones? Is it Grace Jones Brothers Church?
I think that's him with the dreads.
No, Grace Jones' brother is
Grace Jones got so many brothers. One of her brothers tried to get me involved in a Ponzi scheme they had going on. And Grace Jones, come to find out, got a whole bunch of brothers and they be up to all type of stuff. So it could be possible. But when Oprah did The Secret, that black dude with the dreadlocks.
Yeah, well, he shaved his head. He's bald now, though, with the dreadlocks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I went to that church and it just so happened to be Gay Appreciation Week, and they had the Gay Missionary, the Gay Missionary Choir was singing. And all the songs, they like take out Jesus and they replaced it with something. I don't know. It was I was entertained. I ain't gonna lie. It was very entertaining. They had rainbows. I said, what is going on in here? They was like, girl, it's Gay Appreciation Week. Oh, I see. Rainbow flags everywhere.
Plants of distraction. I'm still standing behind that because if we get caught up in all that drama, the gays, the church, these so-called ministers, we lose sight of food, water, and shelter, and that we as individual people need to rectify the fact that we have issues in our own community, within our own household, that we need to stay focused on that. And when you have people like this who are just Ponzi schemes, it's just another form of Ponzi scheme. That's all this is. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's fool's gold. It's drink this water and you will be healed for life. You will have everlasting life by drinking this water. It's manipulating God's word and true Christianity and those who truly do believe in the word of God and making it a substance of something of today for themselves. But that's not what we want. We don't want this, but we have to be exposed to this so that we can expose the plants of destruction and these hoax that these people have put together to have us frustrated talking about this on top of the layer of what's about to come out of Ferguson. So come on, it's crazy.
Well, YouTube gave me a community guideline strike for talking about what I want to talk about. So
okay, I've been told I can't say certain things. I apologize.
Well, I mean, I just started my, they gave me a warning for talking about that,
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's like, we got to talk about something else then, and there are a lot of women who are being deceived by, and so not only that, and there are men being deceived. And we can't just say that if somebody looks a certain way and they say a certain thing that we're just going to give them a pass because they look Christian or whatever case. Remember, faith without works is dead. God did not tell you that you are a Christian and so therefore your life is going to be perfect and you don't have to do nothing but just sit there. That is no scripture from nowhere, I don't know where they get that from. And it's like, I see what you're saying. I do believe that it was set up to be a distraction, and I think it just went horribly. It went left because I don't
think it was. I think it went the way they wanted it to go.
Well, no, it went left because he has taken down the videos of him and her. He's taken down the video of his reaction to the video. He is also the book sales and all that is not popping. Everything was going the way he wanted it to go. Until the third woman came out talking about I was slept with him last Friday, and everybody noticed that he was doing his video reaction of him and his wife. He was doing that in front of the mistress's house, and the mistress also said that the wife didn't even live.
Wow,
right.
That part I didn't know.
So yeah, so that's when that's when those two just completely disappeared, and now we're not hearing this, and homegirl not showing up in her army fatigues no more, and it's like. Shit, I'm a housewife. I need something to do all that. So where you going? Come back and come get cheated on some more, girl, because I need some on board.
There you go.
Cheated on some more. Get no damn standards now, 12 years in.
Exactly. Girl, bye. Now you want to have some kind of standards about yourself. You knew what was going on. You knew what was up.
And then you're going to put your face out there so that people down the street start talking about your ass. You in the store. Ain't that the girl with the do-rag on? Girl, let me tell you something. Oh, my God. So you put yourself out there like that. Why put yourself out there like that?
That's what she wanted.
That's some real talk.
Fame is a terrible drug.
It sure is.
Very much so.
Fame. Everybody got to have it. They want a piece of it.
And you ain't got no allies to back you in your madness. You just building more arch enemies and getting looky-loos all in your business. Look, boo-boo, ain't nobody giving no shot to you. Now you got all this attention. You don't know what to do with it. Oh, you gonna live with it now. You gonna live with
it. And then when you really want to act a fool, you go over here to the Christians and start bothering them and get, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that just don't make any sense. It just makes a mockery out of of Christianity so bad. It's just awful to watch when they carry on like that.
Yes.
Speaking of people making a mockery out of Christianity, I know you guys have heard of Lil Nas X slanging his Satan sneakers.
Oh, God.
I heard an interesting theory today, though. The theory was that he is not really feeling this industry like that, and he is trying to get himself canceled. I do think this kid is like a really big troll. I mean, I don't even believe he's gay. I believe that this kid will do anything.
I said the same thing. I said, ain't nobody gay try that hard. All of us know gay people. Gay people don't try that hard. That boy is trying to be gay. He's trying to be disruptive. He's trying to get all this attention. Nigga, we seen you. Now what? You got titties. You done pumped your lip up. You sucking the dick of demons. What do you want?
Right.
What do you want? Let me talk to your mama. Girl, go get your boy and grab that boy by the head and get him taken care of.
I knew he wasn't gay when they put him in them assless chaps at the award show, and all the gay boys was running after him, and he was running away from them. So I said he wasn't gay from the beginning. I said they're taking this boy because they don't really know what to do with him, and that's the thing to do. And so they dressed him all up and presented him as this little, out of the way little homosexual. I said he is not gay, and every time some gay man try to holler at him, he be running from the hills.
You ain't seen him not with one man.
No,
exactly.
Right.
Not one man, not one scandal, not one DM, not one DM from him.
Right.
Oh no, he's
now Super Patriot said he's definitely gay. He ain't buying. He ain't buying. He said, I'm assuming there ain't no straight man gonna walk around in no trap. So he gotta at least be in the middle.
Prince, aka Prince, was Prince gay or straight?
Who knows?
I think he was straight personally.
Because Little Richard said, "Hey, when I was single, when I was coming as a man, they didn't want me to sing because the pretty white girls was coming up to the stage and they wanted to touch me and they was getting excited. They won't let me go as a man and sing to the pretty white women." He said, so he put on the lashes and the mascara and feminized himself, and then they would allow him to go and sing in front of the white people. And you have to remember, Little Richard is the father of rock and roll. Yes. Little Richard is the father of modern pop music.
Yes, he was.
People don't even understand how important Little Richard is to music, and so there's a lot of credence to that. And we see people come up after him Jimi Hendrix played for Little Richard. The Beatles got started from Little Richard. Little Richard, I mean, he really.
So here's a backstory. I met Little Richard many years ago, and he came out with a book and he signed the book. And then I learned later on, Michael Jackson was paying for him to stay at a hotel. I gotta think. I don't know. It was the Magic Hotel. It was in Hollywood, and he stayed in that hotel, and his bills were covered by Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson covered a lot of his bills. Back then, the way the money industry was structured, they stole a lot from those artists that were the originator. That's why he says, I'm the originator, the master.
Yeah, he was never awarded, and he never made $1 for his songs. Good golly, Mighty Lucy, none of that. He didn't make any money off of those songs. And other people would re-record them and make millions off of it, and he didn't make any money off of it. Right. So yeah, Michael Jackson put him up. Michael Jackson also gave him back his masters when he bought those his catalog from Sony. Michael Jackson bought his catalog from Sony. He also bought the Beatles catalog and Little Richard catalog, among some others. And he gave Little Richard his catalog back. And Little Richard said, and I quote, "I'm so happy, I don't even want to be gay no more." Woo! That's what he said.
Yeah. Rest of me. I love that man.
So now Lil Nas X is a student of the great entertainers. And I tell y'all that because I was watching a Madonna concert. I like to watch concerts on YouTube. Especially now you got to be vaccinated to go. I will be seeing all my concerts on YouTube. So anyway, I'm watching the Madonna concert, and who's sitting in the front by himself? Little Nas X. Now, I don't know if it's staged or not, but maybe it was, or she knew he was there. But Madonna was like, "Is that you?" And she came downstairs, and she sat next to him and they shared a beer and had a conversation. But I said, okay, for a kid this age to understand that if you want to study somebody, you study that woman, because that woman reinvents herself over and over again. She don't get tired.
Yes, you preach. Go ahead.
Madonna don't get tired. Madonna is not lazy. Okay, you see Beyonce talking about she finna retire. Do you see Madonna? Madonna got twice as many kids, and she's not retiring nothing. Madonna is gonna dance herself till the day she damn die. Period.
And Madonna has her own line of artists too.
Oh yeah,
Alanis Morissette, Jagged Pill is under Madonna's label. I'm going like, y'all don't know how deep Madonna is.
Really? I was just listening to Alanis the other day.
Look at that brand and how she had all these other little brands underneath her brand. This little white woman was not stupid.
She wasn't playing.
She ain't playing. I said, somebody said, they said, well, Nicki Minaj is a rap. I said, the only reason Nicki Minaj is a rap is because Nicki does not know how to evolve. You know, she started off as the extreme, but Donna started off with like a virgin, very controversial to have a white woman in a virgin dress rolling on MTV. And I remember watching that and them saying that they didn't know what to do. They just said, keep rolling and show her. And then she evolved to that more sexual, and then she turned it off and went somewhere else.
She went to India and had a little thing on her head. Madonna has a cowboy album. That's one of my favorite ones, was the cowboy era. Madonna switches it up. She switches it up. And the other thing though, the difference between her and Nicki, Nicki's persona was created by men. And so then she grew up and realized that it was doing more damage than good. And then you just grow out of that. You know what I'm saying? But even she said, Nicki Minaj said she didn't pick that name for her. Fendi picked the name Minaj for her. They picked you're going to get your body done like this and you're going to wear your hair like these. The men put her together, even though she brought her own talent, they put her together and over-sexualized her to the point where that's all that people want to see from her.
That's true.
Beyonce said before Madonna, it was Cher. That's right.
It's true. That's
very much Cher. So
even if you go to Patti LaBelle, you remember how Patti LaBelle was way out there?
Oh yeah, she don't get enough credit for the hairstyles and the outfits, outfits and stuff.
Because how many women of her era, like the Supreme and all those other women, there were a lot of 3 women groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, someone says, "You remember the Third Degree?" I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And then I looked up I remember that song. I don't remember, Chic. That was some more women. So how do you stand out during those era? You do something outrageous, but you got to tone it down eventually. You got to come back to Earth, planet Earth. And so Nicki's so far gone. I'm like, I don't know how that girl's going to go. I think she should just sing. She should shock someone and do a really well-written song a cappella and sing.
There's this kid, Machine Gun Kelly. Is that his name? The white boy. He's a rapper. He was rapping, and he switched over into doing more like alternative Blink-182 type music. I think that's more of his lane than what he was doing before, trying to be a gangster rapper. I actually kind of dig that, the new sound a little bit more. Now, in this particular situation, he also stole Megyn Kelly from her husband. What's her name? Megan Fox. Not Megyn Kelly. None of my words. He stole Megan Fox from her husband, Brian Austin Green, who was my favorite character on 90210. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's how old I am. But it's interesting that there's no conversation in the media about him being a home wrecking hussy, a side dude, having no school. There's no conversation. Megan was like, "This is my boyfriend. I'm done," and that's just the end of it. And Brian Austin Green is hurt over the situation. He's expressed to I can't believe she would do this. These people were supposed to be co-workers. Next thing I know, they're sneaking around together. The whole thing is scandalous and messy. But you don't see the media saying anything to Machine Gun Kelly. You know what I'm saying? He's not being attacked in the same way that if it was a woman involved and separated, came between a marriage, we would have never heard the end of it.
He has honestly said a whole lot of questionable stuff, especially the way he used to go on those tirades about sleeping with black women. I'm like, oh gosh.
What did he say?
And so he didn't, because his daughter, she's biracial, she's half black. And he did this interview one time, and I was just like, what is going on here? He was just talking about, oh my God, how black women give the best head, how they are just the best in bed. And of course he was talking, with a bunch of black men. I'm like, well, they're not about to say anything. They thought it was funny that he was going on those tirades talking about black women and overly sexual matter that way. I said, what's going on right now? I mean, he was just really going in about black women and how he preferred black women, and you know, white girls just don't do it for him and never will do it for him. And then all of a sudden, where'd that come from? I mean, I really didn't like his rap career like that. I think he does better with the lane he's in now.
Yeah,
I agree. I
never heard him talk about black women.
I
didn't
haven't
even
either.
know he had a biracial kid because I'm not really even all that invested. Let me not get to Lion. As a matter of fact, how I discovered his new chapter is really because Travis Barker was playing the drums, and so I was like, "Oh, Travis Barker, what's going on here?" You know? Oh, wow, this is cute. This is cute. But yeah, definitely stereotypes. At the same time, black women are kind of like hungering for some type of compliments or something, as opposed to you wig wearing, hat wearing, weave wearing, baby mamas ain't got, you know, what we normally getting off the internet. So I mean,
at least the stuff that he was saying wasn't even. It was so crazy. The interview, he wasn't even degrading black women. I mean, he was speaking in a positive manner. The only people that were degrading the black women, of course, in the room were the black men he were talking to in the interview while they were smoking dope and drinking. So that wasn't even surprising. I mean, he didn't say anything bad. He just was speaking about black women like in a really overly sexually manner. But yeah, he has a beautiful biracial daughter. I wasn't even surprised that he was able to smash Megan up. I mean, she had been cheating on her husband anyway. She didn't want that man.
Right. And I know you like Green, but Green looked like he either smokes a lot of weed or he's doing some kind of drugs on the side. He just looked worn to me. Every time I look at that actor, I'm like,
who on drugs?
He look worn. The word worn, like, you know, somebody saying, you didn't have some life or you didn't party too many hours late at night. He just looked like a worn man. He don't look fresh. I mean, he was fresh on that show. Trust me, that was a cute little boy on that show. But
he was so gorgeous back in the day. To me, I used to love all the movies he played in.
He didn't evolve well.
So apparently, Derek Jackson has appeared on Clubhouse, just like Candyman. Candyman. Like if you say a narcissist's name 3 times, they will appear out of the abyss, out of nothingness. It's like magic, Tabitha. It's magical how they appear. Ain't it magical?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Magic.
It is. I mean,
I can't apologize no more.
Yes, it is.
What's the drop dead Fred? If you just say his name over and over, he just pops up. What else is there to even talk about at this point in this situation? What's done is done.
One of my clients used to say, apologize. Tell her kids, do not apologize to me no more. Okay? Like, what's apologize when you apologizing and lying at the same time, talking about you ain't gonna do it no more?
That's funny.
So that's what he did came on here to do, to apologize some more. I said, "Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to borrow that one because I know these people be out here apologizing to me."
If he teaming up with the Christians, he don't have to work that hard. So I don't even know what he called himself doing. This is not even damage control. This is just wasting time at this point.
Right. I mean, you could be a pastor and do what he did. That ain't even no tea.
Right.
The thing about the black church is all we require is that you fully entertain us with costume and a musical selection. Get dressed up and sing first, then give us your spiel. You can't just roll up out of bed and put something in the collection plate.
Child.
A little razzle dazzle, a little something.
They so out of control. I mean, can you believe it? I mean, can you imagine being at church and the first lady and the baby mama fighting each other in the church, and then life just goes on like normal? Like, that's kind of stuff that be going on. You don't even have to work this hard, Derek.
You really don't. But that's the guilt. When people know that they are guilty, and when people know they are busted, and what's driving him crazy is although he may have some support, what's driving him crazy is the people who see straight through him. A narcissist understand that. That's why they're always trying to annihilate good people, because they hate the fact that people can see them. Just like people who do drugs. They don't like being around people that are sober and clear. Envy. Envy in the house. Where you been, girl?
Hey, Envy.
Hi, Envy.
I mean, because that was the one thing right there. Because I saw the look on his face. The one thing that I saw, it was just like, damn, these people really gonna know the real me now. Like, I can't fool as many people as I was fooling before. Like this, I just saw that look on his face of like, man, I got caught. And it wasn't the fact that he got caught by the wife because she already knew what was going on. He got caught by the people who believed in it.
But let me ask you this. Why would he speak of himself in third person? That part, I understand the story, but it's just really weird to meet a man that said, let me do a video about me interviewing my wife and talking about this. And then, is he going to talk about himself in third person with these other women? Is he always going to be a third person? I mean, now they got to figure out some other kind of scam because they took it all down. Thinking, people going to be waiting. They're going to be waiting. They're going to want you to come back. How are you going to scam that one?
Yeah, I think that the reason that he did the video in third person is he wanted to show people that he wasn't scared and that he wasn't running and he wasn't afraid. One of the things I've learned about narcissists is the stronger you get, the stronger they get. This is why people who teach people how to survive narcissists say, go gray rock, which is don't respond at all, don't let them get you emotionally invested and or to just completely cut contact. Because the narcissist grows with you. So when you start to develop standards and you start to say, for example, if you've been in a relationship where the narcissist always shuts you down, they never let you express yourself, and you finally say, you know what, I'm getting out of this toxic relationship, I'm out of here, I'm breaking up, I'm gone, I'm done. The narcissist will come back and love bomb you and then listen to you because they know that was one of the main things that made you leave. So now they're listening to you. But then now they're going to gaslight you, and you're so crazy and this, that, and the third. Next thing you know, you're finding yourself in circular conversations and arguments with somebody who just last month was acting like they didn't care if you came or went and your opinion didn't mean anything. Now that they see that's not working anymore, now they're hearing you out, or at least make you think they're hearing you out by entertaining an argument. But there's never going to be any resolution to it. So but they're trying to show you that I'm not afraid to be combative. I'm not afraid to have an argument. I wasn't shutting you down because I'm afraid to look at myself. They'll sit there and a narcissist will allow you to talk crazy to them and to read them for filth if they think that in their mind, you just need to get it off your chest. Because in their mind, they have sunk their hooks in you deep enough to where you can't get out. You can't emotionally leave as far as they're concerned anyway. That if they just apply a little bit more pressure, you'll always come back. So that was just his way of saying, I'm strong and I'm here and I ain't going nowhere and I'm not scared of y'all and I can take the heat, I can take the criticism because it was fueling him, getting him followers. That thing he married has 95,000 subscribers on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Which also helps him because he wants her to get her own platform so that she can find a way to sustain herself outside of the relationship from him because he's ready for his Hollywood wife. So this is the problem when you have two narcissists working together, because the two narcissists can come together and agree on a target, but they both still have their own internal objectives going on. So while her objective is to fool her parents into thinking that this isn't the abusive situation that they've caught on to, that's an incentive for her. And for her to get out in front of the world and let all these women know that she's been there the whole time. And even though she don't look like nothing, she still got him. For her, that is what's motivating her. And she's so blinded by that. She doesn't see him saying, let me build her up and give her a platform. Maybe this bitch will make her some YouTube videos and get her a couple checks so I won't feel so bad. Because like they said, he keep going back to get her. He's going back to get her because he feels guilty. And he's going back to get her so that he can take care of her financially. Not because he wants to be in a relationship. I don't know what more sign somebody has to give you that they're not that into you and that they're not into the relationship. Okay, I'm already had enough. Now, that doesn't mean that he's a prize. It don't mean nothing for him to be into you. The qualities, he doesn't possess the qualities of a good man. He doesn't possess the qualities of somebody who's going to be good to a woman in a relationship, but he presents himself as somebody who can. So I think this is a really good case study on narcissism, because this is an example where, like you said, they tried to do a mass event, and what we got to see is everybody. He basically cheated on 2 million women at one time. I've never seen nothing like this. It wasn't enough for him to cheat on one woman. He gaslight, he love bombed these women, you know, and this is what these men won't tell you, but I'm going to tell you this because I love women, so you can trust me. He never said I'm perfect and he never told us he had a wife for us to think he was faithful or not. What he was expressing was, you can trust me because I love women. I love women so much, I'm going to tell you things that the men don't want you to know. And then he turned around and got busted in this situation and starts gaslighting women. Well, you think that this is what you see, but really it's not that, because we solved this a long time ago. And anyway, I ain't even married to you anyway. And I'm talking to the people. I'm only needing to address it to the woman that matters, which is my wife. Your wife don't matter no other time, but now so that you can discard the people who are criticizing you, now all of a sudden she matters. Like them side chicks you didn't think you were on the phone call to. Wait a minute, relationship guru. Call up the girls and say, hey, Team Jackson, what's happening? Because they's on the Team Jackson. I mean, hey, Team Jackson, listen. So I got busted creeping with you, okay? And I can't do it no more, all right? But let me tell you this. You're a nice young lady. You have this and that and third going for you. And where you went wrong was you slept with me too fast before you got the information. You didn't investigate. You didn't come to my house. You give them girls the play-by-play on what they did to fall for a loser like you. Then come beg me for my forgiveness. You ain't cheating on me, you bastard. I don't even watch I got a husband. I ain't watching that shit no. Call those women back and debrief. This is what the narcissist will never do. They will never call you back and debrief the relationship. Okay, listen, this is where it all went wrong. Or after this event happened, I just didn't care anymore. And, you know, I lost interest. I fell out of love. I'm not, you know, and but what I did was immature or something, you know, some type of truth, and don't try to clean it up. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to make it better. And he knows that's what he's supposed to do. So in the midst of him lying in the apology, he filled the empty spaces with telling you what is supposed to happen. So for example, he would say, you know, and you know, she did some things too, but I'm not going to bring up the things that she did to minimize what I did. That's what you just fucking did. He would literally do the opposite of what you're supposed to do. And then turn around and tell people that that's not what you're supposed to do, all in the same breath. That's how narcissists believe that people are stupid. Their value for human life and the lives of other people based on what they have seen, based on how they were raised, how they view people is so little and so small. And your religion is a weakness to a narcissist. The love you have for the people around you, your commitments that you keep, they see all of that as a weakness. And what these men learn from their mama, I have never met a narcissist who didn't have an ain't shit ass mama, okay? What they learn from the mother is that all that matters is what you put out there and what people see in the front. We can hide stuff in the back. The back could be messy. You can have shit all up under your bed. You know what I'm saying? But just make sure that the appearance looks good. And I say the mother, not the father, because the father is going to tell all them hoes the truth. You know, you got a daddy that's rearing you in that direction. He would have had better game than that, because they would have told him, tell all your hoes the truth, including your wife. That's the bottom bitch. Let her know what her position is. Tell all your hoes the truth. Pay like you weigh, and make sure you see everybody on Valentine's Day if you want to keep all your bitches. That's what a man would have told him. What he picked up, though, from his environment is that women are weak, that women's beliefs are weak. You can tell a woman anything, and this is the same thing that the pimps know. Most women have not had, especially Black women, have not had fathers to sit down and to talk to them and explain certain things to them. Your father could be toxic and wrong as hell, but the point is that women enjoy and get some type of satisfaction out of a man sitting down and explaining things to them for some reason. It's just the way women are wired. This is why women prefer male pastors and lawyers and everything else. The women are holding up the patriarchy just right alongside of the men. So, you know, that's how you get yourself in these situations, you know, and I think it's an important case study so that people can see that all that glitters is not gold. And just because some man walks up to you and looks good on paper and sees himself as high value doesn't mean you're going to get better treatment than you would from the quote unquote Pookies. And Pookie tell the truth. more than these educated lambs. These educated lambs do all the damn lying. And have the side families and the back families and just live the secret double life. You know what I'm saying? The street dudes is gonna more than likely tell you the truth about what the situation is and what's going on. So then the educated lambs come back and gaslight the women again and say, ma'am, I'm talking. Okay. So the educated lambs come back and tell the women, the reason you don't have no man is because you always with Pookie. No, you the reason I'm with Pookie because y'all not too damn much. And Pookie tell the truth. You the one that lied.
Right. You the one Pookie to know expose your truths.
Exactly.
You are the real headache. The one in the suit and all that, the high value, you are truly the real headache. At least I know what I'm getting out of Pookie.
That's right. That's why I call them a high valued headache. Look how they carry on. I make 6 figures and I'm this and I'm that. So that gives me the car. You make so much money that right. Here's this thing. You make so much money that you now have the right to talk to women all types of crazy because of the amount of money you make. So if you're a high value man because you make 6 figures, no wonder Jay-Z think he got. That's all it took? 100,000? Now you get to sit on the internet and talk about women like a dog because you make $100,000. That makes you high value, child.
And when you find somebody who matches and has the same credential in a woman, oh, she ain't shit. Oh, don't even get it confused. No, you can never be as good as I am. I want you to know how you are less than the dirt on the ground.
Come on now. All these black women with these what they say liberal arts degrees, and they got these bachelor's degrees, and they think that makes them educated, and it don't mean shit. Okay, well, why y'all don't keep that same energy when these people come on here, when these men come on here and tell you they have a bachelor's degree in psychology? Y'all don't jump down their fucking throat. Communications. That ain't engineering. You was also a man.
I still feel it's plants with an S of distraction. If we need to have us distracted, we got to talk about it because it's an issue. And if we talk real truths, then we get dinged and tagged, and we don't get money, or we get our channels taken down.
Exactly.
You look at T West. T West has been always real and raw. They took his whole channel down. You know, you building up these white people's platforms, and then they want to control the black voice.
Of course.
And they talk about we got freedom of speech, but then the liberals want to control our voice and our message, and then pivot off of our pain for profitizing off of what we have created and what we've gone through, and then we buy all the bullshit. So
can you speak to the Tamir Rice situation? His mother spoke out against Tamika Mallory, the Democrats, and all that. She was just disgusted at the last award show. Was it the Grammys or something, when they came out there and did a speech and all of this, and just sucked up all this narcissistic supply over children that ain't theirs. And she felt like these kids are being exploited. She said she ain't getting no money out of the situation. She's not getting the book deals. The Democrats are getting the book deals and everything, and this ain't even their kids.
You mean you want me to speak about this case with the Tamika Rice?
Just that her mom was basically saying, his mother was basically saying what you're saying right now, which is that they just using and exploiting Black people's pain. And there are several Black men who became hashtags only for Black Lives Matter to make money and not share.
We got two folds the way I look at it. It's the non-threatening Negroes and the threatening Negroes. The non-threatening Negroes are going to be exposed, and the non-threatening advocate Negroes, meaning that people who are not Black and they're the advocate for Black people and Black issues, like the Tamika Rice or these other cases that happen out there. The only reason why they do that is because it's for money. You have to be able to get money. You find a way to filter on a pain. It could be any child, Jamil Shaw. It could be Tisha Harley. It could be any Black child and how it was abused by the police or vandalized or attacked by an outsider. Whatever is the most popular. And then they're going to control the voice, like you two say, well, we can't talk about that subject in court right now because then we get dinged. It's the non-threatening versus the threatening Negro. So she comes out and exposes, well, you can exploit my family member. Since you're going to exploit my family, I'm exploiting you and tell you I didn't give you any authority to do that. Now, she probably could get her attorneys and sue them and get some money, but she just went online telling them to stop. And so because she's not on their side, they may find another advocate and a victim to victimize off of to make money, because there's so many of us that are able to do that.
But now, I mean, she was saying they're not including us, but even then, I mean, I remember after the Mike Brown situation and Trayvon Martin, and then Beyonce did Lemonade and had these people's mothers was in the music video and they was at the BET Awards. And I'm like, what does that have to do with the situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see how that's bringing justice either. Participating in a music video or even going to an award show. None of these people don't care about your people.
Wasn't you that really broke down the Breonna Taylor situation?
We have not talked very much about that. I did talk about the conversation that her guy that she was
and all the stuff she was doing on the streets. And how she ended up being in the situation, that part never really got talked about. But notice how she's the poster child for celebrities to put on their shirt and everything.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
But when you get to know the real case, you start studying, you say, oh, I can see how she got killed. You know, I'm not saying what was done was right. I'm just telling you, it's interesting.
Once they add context, it's clear to see it's a series of I don't want to say unfortunate events, but a series of nefarious events that packed on top of each other and it to an inevitable end. If it wasn't that night, it was that, you know, that story was never going to end in a positive way.
Right.
And so one of the things that we lose when we blame it all solely on the system and we don't want to critically look at it is there's a whole lot of girls out here. I mean, even when Monique did her comedy special at that prison, she said it was amazing to her that damn near everybody in there was in there over a man. So it does Black women a disjustice to sit here and talk about Breonna Taylor and not tell the freaking truth, which is that ride or die shit could end up with or die. It might not end up or ride. It might end up heavy on the or die part, and they don't get that. I've had so many conversations. I've lost friends over this shit and some more because there's a lot of girls who grew up, and it's always the middle class girls. It's never the street chicks. The street chicks know when to hold them. They know when to fold them. They know how far they could go with Pookie. It's these street dudes go and find some square who want a touch of that street life and got a little job, got a clean resume. Not you know, kind of green behind the ears. You understand what I'm saying? And then they get themselves involved in these street dudes, and the street dudes is using them as mules and putting stuff in their name and hiding stuff in their house and having them run errands. And of course, they're undetectable by the police because they look like a nice, innocent, hardworking, law-abiding woman. And that's what they are at first. But it's only so much of that gonna go on before you know the powers that be catch up to it. Because I tell you what, we can say what we want to say about the police, but they're smarter than her and Pookie. They be on the phone trying to use code words like, yeah, let me get a couple of them zones. You think the police ain't figured out what a zone is by now? You might as well just go ahead and order your drugs and go on about your business.
Because the proper thing to do, instead of turning this into a moment like so many people did, why don't you tell them the dangers of what happened when you turn your house into the drug house? You know what I'm saying? You turn your house into the trap house. You start hiding drugs for these Negroes. You start hiding their weapons. I mean, they should have just honestly, like you said, Kiki, had been honest. I mean, it happened to me before. Yeah, I'm from the hood, but I'm also smart enough to know, like, when it's a good time to get in a situation, when not to. I was a rebellious teenager before. I could have definitely been Breonna Taylor before. This guy went to go rob a store with me in the car and didn't even tell me. And I could have been dead. And them Arabics shot at him. And shot at the car. And I could have been done then. Instead of all these women out here trying to make this into something else because If that boy was such a hero, and I have said it 1,000 times when it came to that case, I said that's so crazy to me how he didn't even get a scratch, but this girl got riddled up with bullets. What was the protection in that? I mean, there's so many different women. It happens all the time. And to tell these women like, oh, it always turned into this thing of him protecting her. No, you need to tell these women like, look, stop trying to be the down chick, because this is what can happen to you. Because if it wasn't going to be the cops, it was going to be somebody trying to rob them. You don't know.
That's true.
Or that woman that he got them kids with sitting at home waiting on his lying ass to come home.
Thank you.
You got a lot of things stacked up. Look, Tiffany reminded me. Tiffany said no. Kiki said she don't do nigga shit, and she didn't want to talk about it. And that is true. That is exactly what happened. I said this sound like a series of ghetto ass events. It sound like nigga shit and some nigga shit and some more nigga shit. And I don't even want to talk about it. That is exactly what happened. So that's we didn't get into it like that.
Okay, so I have a question. And you can educate me on this one. When you have liberal America and Black Hollywood that constantly says Breonna Taylor, poor Breonna Taylor. Now, we just exposed a lot of things that led to the tragic death of what happened to her. But the lifestyle, the tragedy, and I still say government filtration.
Looting at the police, that had a little bit to do with it.
Right. Mm-hmm. So but they've got the poster child. This woman's the poster child for women. Okay. How is it that we let this be the poster child? This is the Black community talking about Black issues of how women are attacked, which was wrong. And we still are not talking about Letitia Harlinson. Tell me about that one, because Letitia still is the story that it would happen 30 years ago.
Oh, when she got shot in the face over $2 worth of orange juice, I remember.
There you go. She thought they shot her in the back because she was walking away, and she shot her in the back. And then the woman they went to court, then they went after the judge, and nothing was contrived of a legal protection for Black Americans. This is when you had Korean people moving into Black communities because they were able to leverage through EB-5 visas and giving money through Tom Bradley, who was a Black mayor at that time, who was pandering to these Asians and allowing them to have money to come here with no skill set and getting the money to be able to buy into Black communities. And now they were able to build, and those people don't build relationship, just as the problem of immigration today, where they don't really work with you. They work against you. They do not want to adhere to the laws and the lifestyles of true Americans. They are a country within a country. And so that was the beginning of it 30 years ago. So we're not having that discussion.
Well, we can't have a discussion at all about anything because they control everything and they take. I mean, somebody tried to friend me on Facebook under my Kiki Green page. They couldn't friend me. I can't even friend people. Like, it's beyond. They have controlled everything to make it look like, there might be a whole bunch of people who see through the deception. But if we're using social media as a measuring stick, it's never going to reflect what the population is really thinking. Because they just completely control every narrative by removing everything that they don't want to be heard, But that's a very important, even when that situation happened, when the riots kicked off, they very much blamed it all on the Rodney King situation. Like the Rodney King situation was kind of like a joke, and it was serious, but it was a joke. Nobody felt sorry for him. But at the same time, enough people have been harassed by LAPD. Nobody was going to feel sorry for them either. We kind of wanted to see the system finally, take some responsibility for they just be doing too much. But nobody didn't feel sorry for him, and nobody went out and rioted over him. The riot was over her. That's why the riots was not between Black people and the police. The riots was between the Black community and the Koreans.
Bingo.
And the Koreans started it when they shot her, and the Koreans were standing on top of buildings with rifles shooting at people during the riots. But all you see is Black people and Hispanic people running in the stores and quote unquote looting. But what was really going on is
prosecuted. Again, they were not prosecuted. So
No.
now the twist of the story in 2021 is these poor victims, these poor Asian victims. When you've seen them, we've been in their stores, they've slapped us in the face, and then we ignore that and we come back for a discount. We are our own worst enemies. So, again, there's only so much time and energy I think any of us want to give into this madness.
Right.
Until we can come to realize we are better united than we are divided. But if we're too busy being contrast and controversial and not educated to the point of what Kiki is explaining, how do we move forward?
Well, I really don't think that there's ever going to be this huge amalgamation of the Black community. It's not going to happen. When you go, oh, we Black, we need to come together. The Black community is not coming together. It's just not going to happen. It's more so going to be tribes. And we probably need to go back to that. There's going to be tribes and groups of people who get together and who make change or at least figure out how to sustain themselves. But as far as and I don't want the whole Black community to come together because some of them been vaccinated already. So what are we going to do with them? Because when they hit that button on your ass and you get to vibrating and lasers start shooting out your eyes, I don't want to be standing there next to you. With whatever, I don't know what they have. But they implanted people with something to turn you into robots. I don't even know how it all gonna work. And I mean, judging by the way that they have been kind of misfiring lately, you know what I mean? It might just be an experiment. It might go bust. That's the whole thing with science. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. That's why it's called an experiment. But they damn show is experimenting on everybody. And so it's like, can we come together with them? Can we come together with Black people who don't want to be Black? Can we come together with Black people who come from generations and generations and generations and generations of elitist Negroes who have set up in cabals and secret societies against the Black community? Can we come together with Black people who have come from other parts of the world and was briefed, stay away from Black Americans, they ain't no good, we're going to come together with them?
Sorry about this, man. Look, what you're saying to me is right on point, because if you're talking about bringing unity, I think the tribe thing, let's go back to the tribe thing, that's where everybody's mad that the descendants of slaves are saying, why don't we just separate ourselves from y'all and then y'all can do what you want? Oh, no, we can't do that because we need your pain. We need your history to pander after to get money for us.
Well, 342 just brought up a great point by saying the left is done with Black people. They don't need the vote anymore, Black vote anymore, now that they can steal an election. They see China is king now, and they want to please the Asians. Very good point. That would explain the whole people the narrative that Asians are under attack, because this is how they bring up a group. That is what they did with the civil rights movement. That's what they largely, because the way that it was taught to us, this entire country was segregated, and that ain't even the truth. But according to the way they framed it in a way where we believed that what was happening in certain parts of the South was going on throughout the entire country. And they pulled up certain examples or lynching or beatings or whatever so they could get Black people, bring Black people to the top, and then use us. Same thing going on with the LGBTQIA community. The very first thing that we heard about gay rights was gay high school boys being chased home by jocks, strapped to a fence and beaten to death and left there for the birds to pick at. That was the first story I heard. It was a big national news story. And now that I think back on it, the whole damn thing was probably fabricated. There were several instances that they brought up of of gay people being beat up, and not that it don't happen, you know what I'm saying? But that's step one. Look how they're being these innocent people are being beaten and brutalized. Let's support this one group of people. And then after that, it's like, okay, now they need their rights. Now and then here comes the whole rights thing. The difference between the Black community and what's going on with these other groups is obviously we were already here anyway, and we've been participating as Americans against our will in the first place, and we never had these rights to begin with. The gay community has always had rights. A majority of gay people are white men. I don't need no numbers. I don't need to Google it because I'm from LA and I went to that Halloween party in West Hollywood every year. I know for a fact that a majority of gay people are white men. So they already have rights. And that
whole community is still a majority of white men.
Of course it is. And so, but they like to highlight people who might fit outside of that norm to make it appear that there's gay people of all colors and creed. Well, there is now, so more so now in 2021 than there was when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, for real, you would not see anybody being flamboyant holding hands unless they were white. So now you also have the Civil Rights Act of 1964. That is the only thing that stopped Black people and women from being discriminated against in terms of employment, how we create our livelihood. That's the only racism that really fucking matters. I'll go home and drink me some water. Y'all can have a damn nasty ass fountain anyway. Right? We got plastic bottles now. Hey, you keep it. That's not what they wanted to be able to control who's making money and what industries, who works where.
It's true. That's true.
That's true.
You know, knowledge is power, and when you throw down stuff in the manner that you just did, I don't know why people can't see that. But again, it's all this, like I said, plants of distraction, so that we can really dissect the real issues that are out there, and that they make them ours. Well, this all started with Black people. No, it didn't. And I just don't think we need to own it. And I think that those of us who see the real truth, y'all keep that propaganda and that bullshit to yourself.
Yeah, because Black women seem to, especially with Black women, seem to feel like we just have to take everyone's pain. No, it's a lot of times where we just need to say, deuces, that's not our problem. Keep that over there. Distraction, not the distraction. Same thing with Meghan Markle, how we talked about that. That was not our issue. That was not our problem.
If Meghan Markle's not going to do her homework on what's going on with the monarchy, you're going to marry into the monarchy and you thought they were going to like you? I'm just like, and then he going to play dumb like he don't even know the history of his own people. Now, boo-boo, come on. Boo-boo, the kid, come on, little redhead little boy. My whole agenda is I don't even know if that's his real daddy. That's a whole nother story. Because he looks like the mistress. Look like his mother's mistress guy. So that's another story. But for these people not to know the history of a monarchy that dates back to the 800s, not 18, that's the 800s. And then she's thinking that these people like her and they didn't tell me what to do. And I was so taken back. You married into a family that you didn't know the homework, that they were just going to accept you. And I'm going to go back to what Kiki said earlier on a couple of shows back. You know, she said, I blame her mother. And I agree with that. I don't think her mother's a real Black woman. Because I would have said, oh, you ain't playing me out of this palace. Oh, hell no. Little girl, sit down. We gonna milk this for whatever it's worth.
And I just find this so odd to me because that woman was obsessed with Diana. She was obsessed with them. So why would you talk to Oprah? I mean, I know if I could just play devil's advocate, she did it for sympathy for especially to, for Black women. Oh, well, she just probably didn't know their customs and she just didn't know. We can't assume that she knew. I just don't even believe that she didn't know. Like, I mean, that makes no sense to me, girl. You 40 years old. What you mean you didn't know? Come on now, this boy never talked to you about that. You studied the history of this family. She was obsessed with Diana.
She was obsessed with the whole monarchy. Remember, she said she traveled there as a child, and they had pictures of her as an early teenager, or I don't know how she was sitting in front of the palace saying, "Oh, I wish I could be there." I mean, she probably watched all the reels of The Crown. But The Crown. Hell, I didn't watch all The Crown, and I know more than what you acting like you don't know, and I'm not even in that position.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's just the stupidity of people who have power and don't utilize it. This is a girl who has been positioned into power. Once you have that kind of power, you would want for nothing. Who walks away from wanting for nothing to say, oh, we're free now, and I have my prince, and I have my house, and Tyler Perry, we're living in his house. Really? Like really? You're living in Tyler Perry's house and you're under all these celebrity friends, and you came from a monarchy where your child will want for nothing and you pulled them out of that rug? What happens when you're dead? What happens when you run out of his dead mother's money? I mean, what are you thinking? What you thinking, girl? I'm so tired of dumb people. I just another form of distraction. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, we still remember what's going on in the palace and all the pedophilia in the island, the Epstein Island. We ain't forgot about that. I just felt that it was just a huge distraction and trying to make us look the other way. And quite honestly, they know how easy it is to distract certain Black people, and they knew that they are once again pulling at the heartstrings of Black people. And I said, why are Black women even caring about this issue? This is not our problem.
No.
At all.
At all. At all. And she's not relatable because she was one of them CD actresses. It's like, well, what did she start? What was she known for?
I was hoping that Megan was going in there with something. In my mind, she had a diabolical plan to go in there. She was going to kick the queen. The queen old as shit. She only need to fall like 2-3 steps. After that hip replacement surgery, she'll never be the same, okay? So I thought she was just going to get the ball rolling, just kind of trip the queen. Then I thought she was going to like make buddy friends with Kate real quick so she could poison her husband. You know what I'm saying? I thought this was some Game of Thrones shit that she had long range plans so that she could become the Black Queen. Okay. This is what I thought that she was doing. I am not here for the pity party. Okay. I don't care about their children or their relationship. Girl, call me if you finna get some Meghan Markle Targaryen Game of Thrones type shit going on. Okay, if you got some baby dragons hidden somewhere.
I thought my thoughts were like yours. I thought she was going to partner up with the people in Africa because every time he looked up, he was kissing some African baby, right? He was the ambassador for the monarchy to the people and the what is that thing where they have all these world people come together? He was a representative of the African parts of England. I thought that they allowed her to come in so they could unite Africa and continue to strip them of all their golds and diamonds and stuff, and then they were going to build a little power base. I mean, I'm like you. I got these Game of Thrones, ideology in my head, like, okay, they're gonna have some kind of strategy in this. Nope, they come off as bitches.
No, you just gonna you crying to Oprah. That's diabolical plan. Girl, me back when you get a better plan, girl.
I thought we had House of Cards getting ready to come in here. Let's change the house on him.
I'm like, in my mind, when look, 342 called her Megan the Barbarian. In my mind, Megan the Barbarian gonna get busy in about 10 years. Everybody in there gonna be Black. You know what I'm saying? That's not what happened. Okay, that is not what happened at all. This is terrible. It's supposed to be Black guards. It's supposed to be Black guards with Afro wigs standing outside the palace now.
Megan said, look, I drew them in, dropped them real quick. Okay, it's not going my way. Can y'all come save me real quick? I know it ain't gonna take much.
So what's the discussion of what color was the baby gonna come out? Can we discuss what do you think he was gonna come out as? I don't want to discuss that. I mean, all the stupidity of all this bullshit.
I mean, and then let's keep it real. Black people have that conversation on a regular basis anyway. So, I mean, they might have just really been curious because they're not getting the same hood genetics classes that we get. And you know what I'm saying? From being able to compare Black children all the time. They was probably wondering, like, how Black is you? Your mama Black, your daddy white. You kind of real beige. Like, I wouldn't even know you was Black unless you told me. You could tell me anything you because we don't know.
Look Black.
So how Black, like, not even to be funny, but how Black is this baby gonna be? Because they don't know. Now I would have told you, not Black at all. This is not gonna be a very Black child.
You know who they were trying to compare it to? What's the twin that's married to? Is it Tamara? They were trying to compare it to her when I was talking to someone one night. I said, come on now. You really thought, I cannot even believe that we're entertaining the notion of this child even being brown. Well, wait a minute. Look at Tamara and her husband. Tamara's
kid was white too.
Exactly. But she was trying to make the comparison to the children. I said, if you look at Tamara's son, he blonde, white, with blue eyes, and the daughter looks like a Mexican child. So I said, I don't even know.
Tamara's mother, who I've met before, because during the time when those kids were doing shows, her brother's same age as my oldest son. The Tamara's mother, I think, is from Africa or something. So she's really dark. Really dark. That is not Meghan Markle's mother. Meghan Markle's mother might have something else in her gene pool. So I don't think she has much as African cocoa So that little boy gonna really look white. You ain't gonna see that. You ain't gonna see no Negro. Ain't gonna be no.
At the same time, this isn't a light-skinned black woman with two black parents. You got black people who have two parents who are black, who are that complexion. In that case, that baby might come out. Anything can happen, okay? But when you have somebody that is clearly less than 50% black, and they get with somebody who is all the way that white, I mean, the baby was never gonna come out like. It would, but look, don't worry. But the baby won't be too black. The baby ain't gonna come out too black for them. The baby gonna be black enough for what y'all trying to do. Don't worry about it.
And for her to sit up there and say that they were so worried about him being brown. Right. Brown?
How would they get to brown? You ain't brown.
Did you see the pictures of her sorority? Her sorority, she was the only black girl there. So this girl doesn't think she's black. When I saw that picture, I said, oh, this is a wrap. This little girl don't think she's black. She ain't got no black mama. She was brought up around black and white people. I mean, come on now. If the mama ain't really black, that kid ain't gonna understand being a Negro, even if they mix.
Because I looked at the pictures of her family. I said, well, something is in the mix here, and the mama is not giving me all black vibes at all. And I'm like, Megan know what she doing. She grew up on the set. On different sets in Hollywood. I said, this girl, she know the game. I said, this what you saw was acting, and it wasn't good acting either. Just like the movies that she played in.
Fan says she was listening to that Bruno Mars song in 2008. I want to be on a Forbes magazine smiling next to Oprah and the Queen. Y'all remember that song? Could have been foreshadowing. Maybe this is to throw us off and make her look weak. But really, that's all a part of her diabolical plan. Come on, Megan, give me, because I don't give a shit about the royal court.
I don't think she's that smart. I think she just gave good head or something. Excuse me, forgive me. But I think that smart. Tisha Renee said the baby is white. So I would think if during this time, maybe like say 50 or 80 years ago, this little baby would have been passed.
I mean, look at Drake. Look at Drake's baby. Drake is astonished. He didn't know how white he was. Drake had been convincing himself that he was his father and that his mother was just the carrier. Like in his mind, he black. He considers himself a black man.
Okay, so here's the real deal with Drake, though. Drake's mother is Jewish, and according to the Jewish laws,
whatever your mama is.
If the child is black, I mean, the child is from a Jewish mama, the child is a Jew. That's how the Jews think. So if the father
Jewish is still not a race. It's not a race. Right. That don't even mean shit. So
I'm just telling you, look, when it comes to money, I'm always looking at money because I got a friend right now. Her mama's Jewish. She's hanging all around black people, and she black. I said, Negro, I'd be Jew all day long if my mother was Jewish to get a check because they have their own infrastructure of wealth.
Getting that check.
Things up.
They get that check. They play both sides of the fence. And see, but in his particular situation, I just think he thought that his DNA was a little blacker than what it was because the Mediterranean-looking woman he had a baby with.
No, because if you watched him on Saturday Night Live, he knew all the Jewish hitters, and people are like, wow, how does he know all this? Because he studied.
Because he's Jewish. But I'm talking about in terms of I'm talking about in terms of his racial makeup. This man had 3 paternity tests on this child because he's trying to figure out how his loins produced a very white child with blonde hair and blue eyes and blonde hair. And especially when the woman, although she I don't know who knows, but her hair is dark. She's got dark hair. She's got dark eyes. She's got dark feet. You know what I mean?
Right. You're right.
So it's like, well, where did this blonde hair and this blue eyes came from your mama, sir? And you was whiter than you thought you was.
I know. Why are you trying to act like that child was just going to come out brown? He was so shocked. I couldn't even believe that. So what is wrong with Drake?
He's laughing. I'm laughing with you, Cookie. I love you. Thank you for monitoring tonight. Absolutely. I'm
like, you're right, Cookie. You're not a dark-skinned black man. Like, what is wrong with you?
He thinks he's his father.
Oh, wait.
Delusional.
That dog. I seen his dad in person before. That man ain't even that dog like that. Drake, come on, baby. You know that little
the mother. That mitochondrial DNA too, you know,
Mhm.
and we live in a system that wants to give all power to the all powerful man. But this is a case like where you see that it is the mother's genes, not his father. It is the mother's genes.
Preach.
But this baby mama here, she's got dark hair. Her eyes are like a darker green. It ain't like no, she ain't got no eyes. This is not no Nordic woman for y'all to be walking around with this white ass baby. She didn't do this. This Drake, you made this baby white like this with his blonde hair.
You done got with a French woman. That woman is French, and you done got with a French woman, and you can sit up here and had this child.
Oh, like, she's French.
Yeah, she's French.
Well, shit, she's French. She blacker than him then. You know how y'all get down over there, probably Francais.
Because that baby, oh my goodness, that baby has. I mean, he looks so.
Look, half of this booty might even be hers.
Working on that ass, she be showing. You know, this man's delusional because she wants to really capitalize. I'm black. Well, then you should have had a black woman to be with. How do you think them Kardashians claim to be black? They make sure they got a black brother, a dark-skinned black man to have a baby with.
He didn't get her. He was sleeping with a whole bunch of strippers, and all the black women responded to his threats and took them Plan B pills and got abortions. And this white woman said, "Fool, I got a lawyer. So what you want to do? I'll keep it a baby." And he got comfortable and thought that she was going to respond the way that the black girls do, with fear. And she did it. I ain't scared of Jay Prince. I'm having this baby. What the
hell? How many abortion stories have we heard about when it came to him? But she wasn't going. Nope.
Including Johnny Blaze, who Tabitha hit me with this one. She told me Johnny Blaze is 20. What'd you say, 24?
Well, they said she's 23, and I don't believe it.
God, I keep trying to at least make it a year older.
Wow.
So Johnny Blaze is a woman who claimed that she got pregnant by Drake and he forced her to abort, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now all of a sudden she's 23 years old and this damn story older than me. So girl, how old was you when you got pregnant by Drake? 15, 16?
Exactly. Like, girl, be for real about it because I believe her too when she said it. She said, "Oh, the first night we didn't use no condom." So I'm like, this is how Drake get down.
That's how he get down. That's every woman's story.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally believe her.
Yeah, but I don't believe.
I don't believe she's 23.
No, she can't.
Envy gave us the emoji with the Pinocchio nose. You ain't buying it. I mean, this girl has had her front two teeth knocked out. She's been a stripper, a musician, a reality TV star. She's been in several celebrity relationships. She plays like 5 instruments. I'm just trying to figure out like how she has done so much in such a short period of time.
So she should have been the one that married that Prince from England because she would have had some strategy in her game.
She would have killed the queen for getting her down the steps. Johnny Blaze just would have went on ahead and took her out real quick.
Nobody in this comment section is believing that homegirl is 23. They ain't
she in her 30s. I get so sick of them doing that. She is in her 30s.
She has lived very hard for somebody to be 23
Beyonce's
years
in her
old.
30s or is Beyonce in her 40s with her 50-year-old husband?
She would have to be attracted to his old ass.
Thank you. She's in her 40s, and that's another lie they need to stop telling too. I'm really sick of that lie.
How much entire coochie showing can you do? After a while, it's like, okay, we next. I'm just like, whoa. The bees that come after you. I said, yeah, that's called the internet trolls that they didn't put together. After a while, next.
I'm like, I don't know why people acting brand new. They've been lying about people in their ages since the beginning of time. Like, I mean, this is nothing new. Just like a lot of people didn't know that Sevyn Street was as old as she is. I'm like, she's not in her early 20s. No.
This is very true. Sevyn Street.
Oh,
yeah, she's a singer, R&B singer.
Yeah.
And she just got her a nose job.
I said, how you waiting? And she looked like a whole Asian. I said, what? And she didn't. I mean, how do you wait until you get that? I mean, you're almost 40. My theory is that they was just trying to make her look a little bit younger to try to see if they can salvage what's left of her career. Because she's 40. Yeah, so.
Oh, little tank. I mean, y'all did all of that for what? You know, that's the whole thing that the music industry, it used to be necessary if you wanted a big budget video and you wanted the promotion. Now people are just being flat out lazy because there's just no reason for you to go selling your soul to the devil for them to put you on Twitter when you can make a free damn Twitter account and you can make an Instagram, you can make a YouTube, you can do all of that. Yeah, we did talk about Nas X. You can do all of that stuff. I mean, you can even make a music video with your iPhone. There's nothing that the music and that the record label is really going to do for you. And when they do try to help you, the best they can come up with is for you to let a leprechaun shoot you in the foot so you can go viral. That's like the extent of their creativity.
No, that mercy.
There you go. It's no
You
point.
know,
I mean, if you want to really shake your ass, you don't have to go through that trouble. It's plenty. Go to the porn sites because all they doing is doing porn. They got a whole bunch of porn stars parading them around as singers. That's basically all it is. You don't have to even go through all this trouble.
When you sit there and watch Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion do what they did on the Grammys, it's a wrap. That's okay. Now we just basically exploiting how crappy black women are today. You won't even and she got Artist of the Year? Really? So I mean, I want to say to myself, how do the old school rappers like Queen Latifah, how do they feel about these new rappers that come in promoting ratchetness versus real lyrics, real messaging, real quality raps out there? How do you compensate that?
I think that, Queen Latifah definitely hates it. Her and Missy Elliott have been on a campaign to destroy Nicki Minaj for a long ass time. I don't know if Nicki has put it together, but based on their interviews, and I'll be watching their footsteps. Like so when the Nicki Minaj hate trains really took off was when what's her name got out of jail. Remember, Remy Ma, first thing she did when she got out of jail was put out that diss song. Now, I thought that was strange for somebody in as sensitive, delicate of a position as Remy Ma, saying as though they didn't lie to these kids because she wasn't hot when she went to jail. Let's keep it all the way trail. Remy Ma got 1.5 hits. So when she came out, her coming at Nicki, who, according to YouTube, who she didn't slept with back in the day. Remember that? So I thought that was strange. So next thing I know, Hot 97 does that summer jam, and who's on stage? It's Queen Latifah, it's Remy Ma, some other people, and then Cardi B. And Cardi B was shocked that she was even invited. She kept going, wow, I'm so shocked. Thank you guys for it. She was so happy to be there. She was so shocked that the likes of Queen Latifah and these people would be coming. Next thing we know, Cardi is taking shots and putting herself in a funny position with Nicki. And then the Migos tried to smooth it over. Okay, because them little pimp Quavo and that other what's the little pimp name? Lil Quavo or Offset. Okay, the Beyonce and Kelly of the group. They trying to get their high-powered relationship. They just want to make money. They just want to make. That's all them kids want to do is make money. Okay, so they like, listen, bitches, y'all could be on a song together making some money. You could, but Cardi B could not. She quit. For some reason, she couldn't. She wouldn't even take the help from Nicki that Nicki begrudgingly gave her. It wasn't even her idea. So that just made me feel like Queen Latifah's placed at the scene of the original crime, sitting over here with Remy Ma, and then she has done several interviews where her and Missy Elliott kept saying, when back in our day, it was a bunch of us, and we did songs together, and we did hits together, and we did these collaborative things, and Nicki Minaj is not doing that. No, they didn't say her name. They said it's not like that no more. Now it's only room for one. It's only room for one. They kept saying it's only room for one, and now I see y'all hanging out with, doing music with, popping up with the people that are constantly coming for her. So I think them two heifers got something to do with it. But the part that
I can't disband what you're saying because the girl came out and she had money behind her to promote this record. Her Instagram account got all these likes all of a sudden. I mean,
she don't have no fans.
She had crazy numbers. And then Wendy Williams might be in part of it too. Think about it. As Wendy was promoting her and all.
Right.
I was like,
and the reason Wendy's involved is because Wendy hang out in the streets with a bunch of niggas. And it's niggas in New York that's mad at Nicki because Nicki took her shit and went down to Atlanta with Deb Etney and left them New York niggas and Fendi and Smack DVD and left all that shit behind and got with somebody who was going to be more professional and then got herself that deal with Young Money. And that's also the South. Nicki's support group came from the South, not New York. So they don't love her like that. Look at every female New York rapper who has come out since is throwing shots at her. And these girls is not setting up their own career. It's a man that is managing them. It's a man promoting them. It's a man behind them doing everything. Them niggas don't like Nicki. When Nicki made up her mind and decided she was going to try, okay, I'm grown now. Now I'm going to make my own. Now I'm going, and one of the other turning points for her career was when she did that Grammy performance with that satanic levitation shit that she pulled a Lil Nas X, her and Boomcat decided, what's Boomcat name? They decided together they was going to come up with this shit. The choreographer, what's her name?
Oh,
her name Tabitha.
Oh God, what is this woman name? It was right there. I forgot, but I know you talking about.
Oh, you know, yeah, because she was on. I know you're talking about too, because she was recently on DD4L. She was recently on that one.
Somebody in the chat know. What's Lorianne Gibson?
Yeah, Lorianne Gibson.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lorianne and Nicki Minaj, because Lorianne was the creative director, so they came up with this whole we gonna get on stage and pull it. Oh, they want to say 10 because remember at the time you got Lady Gaga is hanging herself and bleeding from her eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? So Nicki Minaj said, "I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get them what they want." Came out there with the Pope, did the whole shit was blasphemous from beginning to end. And the network got complaints and everything, and the music industry acted like appalled. What? I can't believe. So after that, she fired Homegirl. You know, she took it out on Lorianne. I guess she fired Lorianne and went on about her business. But as she started to try to steer her own career instead of just playing into what she thought they wanted her to do, as the more she grows up, they don't like that shit at all. So she's got the men that are mad because she's becoming a woman. And then you have the women that are fucking mad for whatever reason that they mad at. I guess because she ain't helping them eat or whatever. So, But you know, they say how you get him is how you keep him. That's how she came into this industry. That's how she came in here. That's how she treated Kim. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
You like your strategy theory might have some truth behind it. That's all I'm saying. That's a good point. I never thought about that. I just know she came out of nowhere and she just had crazy numbers. Like she was getting 50, 60,000 hits on Instagram. I'm like, who's following this chick like
Remy Ma don't have no fans. That's why Remy had the only song that she has put out that has even made any waves was the diss towards Nicki Minaj.
Yeah,
she ain't did nothing since nobody cared about. And it's not that it was bad. She's growing up too. So she put her album out and she's singing about loving her skin and loving her melanin and even got that fuckboy Chris Brown to act like he had some sense for 4.5 minutes. It did not matter. The media is not, they never loved her. So now she gets to see they never loved you. And when they realized that they used Remy to poke holes in Nicki's armor, but they knew she couldn't take her down. So this is when they recruited, I believe, that Remy and Queen Latifah recruited Cardi B.
Yeah. And a lot of people said Cardi was recruited. I agree with that too.
And then they do the VH1 special to celebrate women in hip hop, and they go back 30 years and don't mention Nicki Minaj one time. Like, come on now. Y'all give a Spinderella award, but you're going to act like Nicki Minaj don't exist. Y'all niggas is right. And we know y'all don't like Spinderella because y'all won't even say her name.
Right.
Hate Spinderella.
Yeah, right.
I mean, no shade. I like Spinderella, but I'm just saying. They don't.
I like Spinderella.
Try to make it seem like she just wasn't even a part of it at all.
And Spinderella been there the whole damn time.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely some orchestration behind it. And I'm like, Remy Ma, y'all didn't even have to work that hard. I mean, Nicki Minaj, she getting older, so I mean, eventually she was gonna sit down and look. I mean, she's damn near blackballed.
No, Cardi didn't. Well, what happened to Lil Cardi was Cardi ended up getting that knot upside her head. Yep. Remember, that's what happened to Cardi. So that's where that went, because it was going just fine. It was going very well. Until Rob put that knot upside that child head and beat the shit out of her like that in front of all them people at the Harper's Bazaar.
Thank you.
You know, you're going to go to a high-end white event and then act niggerish.
You do if that's what you do if that's what you was hired for.
Yep.
That was always the agenda for Cardi B. That's the whole reason she even has a career. They promoted her so they could do what they did with her. Poor baby. She fighting though.
And then she had all that plastic done to her face. I'm going, I don't get it.
She don't even look recognizable.
No, right. I'm like, she's Chinese now. It's like, what is wrong?
Her ass is so heavy.
Oh God.
God, she couldn't even. She got so much ass. She can't even lift that ass. She can't even lift her leg up.
In that music video, she couldn't even get her booty up. Oh, baby.
And that, I mean, it was inflated. I was like, girl, woo,
Yeah.
that ass was rolling on stage. That one day she didn't get playing with all them damn injections.
Yep. And they started off with them illegal ones. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Michelle. See,
Right.
Louis, watch Louis.
Don't bring
you being
up
petty.
Michelle, please.
Okay, Michelle. Michelle was the bigger one.
Louis said, speaking of people's oversized booties.
Okay.
Let me tell y'all something. I don't know. I mean, of course, K Michelle, we're from the same city or whatever. So that ass in person, woo, it was even worse in person. I said, I cannot believe this woman blew up her ass to the point where it was, I mean, and already she's a midget. I mean, I think she's shorter than 4'11" personally when I saw her.
Wow, she's that tiny.
Yeah, she's real. Oh, she is super tiny, super petite, and she's super short. And when I saw, like, she was at the mall one day, and I looked, I said, damn, her ass is practically hanging by the back of her knees. It was so huge.
Wow.
She's gonna have to get that taken care of before they kills her.
Well, you know, everybody's gonna do whatever they can to get as much attention on the Richter scale.
Even if it means that,
trying to get shortcuts
when you ain't got no real talent.
Trying to get shortcuts because you really don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because somebody who naturally has a big butt has probably been teased about it or has people making really overtly sexual has dealt with sexual assault, that type of stuff. It's not until you become unless you have, a really protective family, which you don't, because you're a black woman, so you ain't getting no fucking protection. Just cut the shit, right? So you walking around here with this big old booty and people are treating you a certain way. And it's not until you become a grown woman and able to protect yourself and control your environment and where you go and that kind of stuff that you're able to kind of control it. But when you're being forced to go to school every day, you don't have, you know what I'm saying? And it's like the women who envy that, they feel that they're entitled to that attention. That's one thing about envy. When you envy people who have something that you don't have, they always look at the positives. They never look at the negatives. And it's like, just to think that you should be able to go get surgery so that you can garner the same attention or respect or adulation that you saw the next woman get, but you are not completely oblivious to, the things that girl went through, to the people who touched on her and exploited her and took advantage of her because of it. You know what I'm saying? So once again, selling your soul to the devil. So however it play out, oh well, because nobody should have to tell you not to let some transsexual fix a flat in your ass, especially a college educated woman. Nobody should have to tell you that. And it wasn't the attention of men. You ain't never seen men say that that's what they desire. You saw a woman with a big ass and you saw who she was with or what she was doing, or you saw somebody on Instagram or whatever getting some type of attention that you thought that you wanted and called yourself copying them. And now it's a bigger mess because, people got to understand that it's not just about the physical too. It's about your soul and you learning things through experience. So now you get to see the dark side of it and you look like a damn freak show. The difference between you though and the girl with the natural ass is that she don't have to go get 3 surgeries and her ass is not flopping down to her past her kneecaps. You did something you ain't have no fucking business and then want to come out and tell me not to laugh. No, bitch, I'm laughing because this is ridiculously funny and I have been looking forward to y'all asses popping. You don't listen. It's not in your genetics. That's not what God had in store for you. Use what you have. It don't matter if it's titties. It don't matter what it is. It's like people have to get to a place, especially women, where you see what you got and you learn to love it. because trying to fix it and change it is not going to make you a happier person. All you're going to do is find another imperfection, or it's not going to be to your liking, or it works temporary. It's a temporary relief. It's not going to help you and how you feel about yourself. And people with low self-esteem think that people who have high self-esteem, it's because they're attractive, or it's because they have a job. Oh, let me go get that job. Let me look like them. Then I'll have good self-esteem too. No, the self-esteem is first. They look the way they do. They command attention the way they do. They light up a room the way they do because of the confidence and the self-respect they have for themselves. They're able to accomplish things because of the diligence that they put into their work, the pride and effort they put into what they do. Not because they just got a big ass and got pushed up to the line. You know what I mean? And this is why, and there's no longevity in it, you know? So, but we never get to the part where we get to educate. The conversation never gets to the point where you're educating. And I only bring that up because I don't think everything is for education purposes. Some of this shit is just funny. But at the same time, the people who are getting laughed at, deservingly so, want to try to, you know, throw a wet blanket on everybody. You can't laugh at me. This is serious. That's a medical issue. And I could have died. And I'm trying to educate young women. And this, that, and the third. Well, you wasn't on here educating young women. You was on here dancing. With your ass flapping up and down. That's what you was doing. Now you want to educate young women because it's people who laughing at your ass and don't feel sorry for you. But the people are laughing at you because when your booty was nice and plump and it was opening doors for you, doing what you wanted it to do for you, you treated everybody like shit.
Right.
So the laughter is not that you have a deformity. The laughter is that it couldn't have happened to somebody more deserving. It's just that the people who do well, you know, the Bible says don't get weary in well doing. When you're doing the right thing, you don't know the calamities that you missed. You don't know the bad actors that you cut off, what could have happened had you continued. You never get to see that because you just stand on the right path with your blinders on. You know what I'm saying? And it gets exhausting to constantly see people passing you up or being celebrated for doing the wrong shit. But it's very satisfying when you see people who think they passing you up taking shortcuts, when you see their ass trip and fucking fall right on their bullshit face. I'm sorry, that shit's funny. It's funny. It's funny. I enjoy. I was sitting there with an attitude, with my arms folded, watching these two lying ass people gaslight the whole world, having people respect them and think they're good Christians when I know damn well they not. And this bitch is a witch. And he is a narcissist, right? But let me tell you, when that third bitch came up out the woodworks and said, that's my house he's sitting in front of right there, he cheating on her, why he cheating on her in the response video, that satisfied my soul. It did. It did. And I laughed at her from a healthy place. A healthy place. If laughing at these people is wrong, I don't want to be right, okay? Because what other pleasures do we get? How much more humble can we be? We not hating on you. We don't come out and stop you. We ain't set up no campaign to stop these people. We've been knowing half these people was full of shit. We never came out and bashed K. Michelle or her fake booty. You know what I'm saying? We never try to destroy these people's platforms like how they do good people. We don't do them like that. But when they finally get their karma, like Cat Williams say, I'm getting my goddamn 7 chuckles. Ha, 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 ha. Okay? That's what y'all ass get. Thinking they smart all the time.
And honestly, when you're that self-destructive, you don't need nobody's help. These people are so self-destructive, they do the damage themselves. We just sit back and get entertained off of it. Can't blame us for that.
Envy so shady. She said, God don't like ugly.
No, he doesn't. That's old school.
He does not. And when you get out here doing all that and really just think, like you said, think you're doing something, no, you're going to fall back real quick. And it ain't going to be, and then all of a sudden now it's not funny. When you laughed at people and when you did what you did and taking all them shortcuts and, you know, stepping on people's back to get to where you need to get to, no, now all of a sudden, oh, it's over with. Now I need y'all to feel sorry for me. Then there's nobody there feeling sorry for you. Is everybody pointing fingers and saying, ha ha, I told you so. That's what your ass get.
And remember that Envy just reminded us. She said, remember K. Michelle is the first one who tried to pop up that scumbag as a relationship expert. Remember that they did that radio show together and K. Michelle was like, I just don't think that men are good people. And then Mr. Derek Jackson, Mr. men aren't good people himself. It was very strange how he did not defend her, and he acted like he could not. Well, it's the kind of guys you're dating. I mean, he really got defensive, and I was like, something funny about that. That's not a response. The way he responded is not the way I would expect somebody who's been advocating for women to respond. He definitely got on the men's team real quick, and I was like,
And she knew about it already,
Right.
But he's one of those people, because that's what she was saying. She was like, I'm dating a dentist. He's cheating too. I don't think men are good people. Oh, wait. They wasn't trying to hear that shit.
Not at all. And
I wish I would get cheated on by a dentist.
These damn men, none of them like him to tell they talked about her ass so damn bad. And when she went on there and carried on and talked about, I'm from Memphis, we jump gas, and get your ass. So don't be on television and be saying that kind of stuff. I said, now you done went up on TV and made us just look like we all some damn hood rats here. And she
it's
ain't
always
even no damn hood rat.
It's always the ones that's not really from that hood. Speaking of which, today is March 31st. The anniversary of the shooting death of a rapper, and I don't even want to go into it. Okay.
And Selena, rest in peace, Selena.
Oh yeah.
You already know that's the story.
And she got shot at close range by somebody close to her too. All these coincidences.
And guess who pushed her close to her? The daddy.
And who benefited the most off of her?
The daddy.
The show when a damn husband.
J-Lo. Because
J-Lo they brought that up
in her life, and it put all them people to a whole nother level. And
J-Lo basically picked up where Selena let off. So this is what we was talking about before, how they have to victimize somebody as the victim, and then they bring them up. You know what I mean? So that's something similar with this situation. With Selena, there were not a lot of Latin pop R&B artists. They were definitely not playing the music on the radio station. So after Selena was shot, everybody was like mostly shocked at like how like, damn, this music is good. And I would have never even heard it. And then now they're playing a few of her songs on that on the radio. I like that If I Would Fall. That's my song, right? I didn't know that was her post-ominous album. So they made sure to sell it, and they didn't even want her singing pop. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. Because they definitely off that girl. So now they have J-Lo come and step in her shoes. Not only does J-Lo get propelled, but I know you probably remember this too, Shirley, that LA radio went from being black music to every single station is now Latin pop.
It's true.
Reggaeton. What it used to be reggaeton ain't black music no more. It completely, then the DJ switched. And what they did was Big Boy, I do not like his ass. I do not like him.
Whatever he married, he's not black. He doesn't support black. Big
Boy got rid of. There was black women in radio, okay? Right. They made sure that they fired every black woman, not man. Now, Big Boy was sitting here 500 pounds with his co-host, Fuzzy Fantabulous. Y'all know I'm a radio student. I remember. So now I'm taking you back 20-some years. He was on there with Fuzzy Fantabulous. The two of them together weighed over 1,000 pounds, but it wasn't a black woman in sight. Wasn't good enough for that goddamn station. And there still ain't a black woman on that station on no time. There is not a black woman on any station on no time on the radio in LA unless it is KJLH. He left that station, Power 106, went to 92.3, still does not have a black woman on radio with him. Okay? And the music changed from R&B and to then all of a sudden it was a lot more Latin music. Then the DJs, they would have live DJs came in. Now the live DJs, instead of them being black, now before then they wasn't black before, but they were Asian sounding black people. If y'all remember Theo, or if you've seen the movie Waiting to Exhale, he has a cameo in it. We thought Theo was a black man because he had a deep voice. It was a lot of that going on. A lot of the women were Hispanic women or Asian women, and we thought that they were black. Come to find out that they were not. They just sounded black on the radio, which was good enough for these folks, So that situation with Selena has been the gift that kept on giving. in terms of rising Latin music, changing the landscape of radio. And the problem that I have with it is that Black women are not allowed on any station as some sort of disc jockey, unless it is an old school, easy listening, old R&B station playing some old shit. Period. There's no contemporary now. I don't know how it is maybe in the South, but in the West Coast, your Black woman is not getting on the radio to do nothing. Not as a co-host, a sidekick, nothing. Maybe you could call in and ask for some tickets.
Now let me tell you how deep it is, though. J-Lo is not Mexican. She's Puerto Rican.
She's Puerto Rican.
But Selena is Mexican.
Barely.
So they had their own beef when they allowed her to play. J-Lo allowed to be play Selena. Now,
well, you heard the backstory on that. He started looking for somebody. Her father started looking for somebody to play her in a movie literally a week after she died. And so the Mexican women all said no. This was recently discussed on, was it Andy Cohen's show? Which one is it? I get them mixed up. The one from Desperado and the one. Shit. Y'all know them damn girls looking like Penelope Cruz and the other one.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Selma Hayek. Yeah, they both look alike.
Yeah. They look the damn same. I get them mixed up, so I can't even tell you which one of them it was.
Okay? Mixed up. I listened to an interview with Selma Hayek. Said she calls Penelope. I can't say her name. Penelope to say, "Hey, how you wearing? What you wearing? So we don't wear the same dress." Because people get mixed up so much. She said one time they wore the same dresses, so they always call each other. So they said, okay, fine, you got that dress, I wore this dress. And she said, then we showed up with the same hairstyle. We were like, oh my God, because they look so much alike.
They look so similar, and I get them mixed up all the time, okay? And this is not like, oh yeah, this isn't one of those they all look alike situations. No, them two women look alike. So one of them said that they called her the week after Selena died, and she was like, no, I'm not doing that. You know, J-Lo will do anything for a coin.
And the daddy, he lies so much because even though Selena died like when I was, only like 5 years old, as I got older and got more in tune to her music and the history of her, I said that damn family was trash, just complete trash.
Really? All this interesting.
Oh my God, though they were so trash. And then the way the sister actually wanted the brother, I said, what the hell?
Really?
Yes, the sister had a crush on the brother. Actually, like I tell
people. Wait, what brother? Her brother-in-law?
Oh yeah, she had a crush on the brother-in-law, Chris.
Okay.
And
so the sister wanted her husband.
Yes, because they were friends first before him and Selena had even dated each other. They were friends first. And when he got, started coming around more and more, Suzette didn't like that shit. She was like, okay, what's going on? Because she always felt like she lived in the shadow of her because of how she looked and her look. And then she was plus size. And the husband ended up writing in his book years later. And I remember him doing a documentary, an interview, not a documentary interview. And he was talking about how the sister would write him love letters and just was basically obsessed and was like, why are you doing this to me? I thought we were going to be together. That's why he hated that damn movie so much, because he was like, the movie was a lie. It really didn't depict things how it really had happened. And the damn father, and I never forget this man that was really close to Selena. He worked on her team. He had said in the interview in the 90s how he was trying to warn the father and warn Selena about Yolanda. And he was saying that Abraham didn't want to hear it. And he was pushing away all her friends and told Selena purposely, you need to get closer to Yolanda. This is who you need to trust. And look how she ended up doing.
Well, because did you watch the series on Netflix?
Yeah, that's right.
The Netflix, from what I got from that Netflix series, is they never wanted her singing music in English. And they didn't like the fact that she kept pushing for it, because her main thing is Come on, cut the shit, guys. I'm a white girl from Texas. I got some Mexican heritage, but I don't even really speak Spanish like that. You know what I mean? She wanted to sing Jody Watley and that kind of stuff. And she had all these albums from when she was a kid. I didn't realize until I watched that she's like, you know, like Michael Jackson in the sense of this is her childhood and they were making money. They wasn't just singing in the garage. They were touring. They were making all this money. And, so she had several albums, but of course they weren't famous. So they weren't making like huge money like that. But when she died and people went back and bought those albums, they recouped all that money that they never really made on the front end. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got paid. And another thing I got from that is that like ultimately what she wanted to do was sing in English. And I think that they felt that she was singing in Spanish and that she was gonna fuck up everybody money trying to be an English, you know, singing pop star, which I agree. I can see where they came to that conclusion because pop music is so damn hard.
Is this part of the liberal agenda? Because how do we expand on a culture of people like this? How do we expand on giving them empowerment? Let's start through the music industry. This could have been a long range goal. If you go to Lyndon B. Johnson's museum in Texas, you'll study how he was in cahoots with the Latin community on helping the Latinos. Lyndon B. Johnson, because he didn't like black people. So I'm just always just amazed how we all sit back and think that people care about us when they really don't.
We haven't been doing that. We ain't been doing the education. You know, I don't understand why we rely on our schools instead of getting all these kids together. All right, kids, sit your ass down. We're going for an hour. We're going to do some history. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to tell you things that you need to know. And there isn't any of that happening. It seems like, I don't know about the previous generations, but especially mine for sure. And further, you know, our parents blindly trusted whatever the hell was coming out of that school. Or maybe they didn't. I don't kind of get the impression they didn't even really care all like that. And so we were just subjected to whatever the establishment was teaching us, and you had to learn it and you had to regurgitate it, you know, and that was how you were going to get ahead and get a job and be able to sustain yourself. And I don't think they didn't foresee the internet coming and creating that ever being a problem for them. I don't think, you know, now you've got kids at school saying, prove to me that the earth is round. How you know that's what the globe look like? Just show it, prove it. You know, you got kids now asking for proof, and it's becoming a problem because they're getting so much money. The school system, the city making money off the schools, the school making money off the kids, the city and the property owners in the community are making money off the schools. People buy homes and spend more money to live in proximity to good schools. So they have to keep these kids in school. They should be at home. There's the plague is going around. We got zombies. People are dying left and right. This is the worst health crisis in the history of mankind. No, I think geometry can wait.
You messing up their racket. That's all it is.
That's all it is. That's what it is. Their racket off the backs of children. And so
you also do the homework and look at those statistics of how they have these public schools where they paid for so many kids to be in school. They get paid to make
I know they do because
not to learn, but to hold a seat.
Just listen. When I was in high school, somewhere in high school, first of all, I had a bunch of extracurricular activities and other shit going on. And I figured out how I could successfully pass my classes, get my homework done, and sporadically show up to class. You know what I'm saying? And they literally was like, you are messing up because what's the problem? I've got good grades, especially once I got my college acceptance letters. Oh, you couldn't find me. And I have been forging my daddy's signature anyway. I was signing his name better than him. Right? So they start calling them going, where your daughter at? Her best friend called out today. Was she? And I'm like, no, wait a minute. Now you guys are going out of your way. Now I have figured out the rules and how to get around them. You know what I'm saying? Now y'all going out y'all way to snitch on me. Well, listen here, Miss Green. We get paid for you to show up. So we expect you to be here and sit your ass in your seat so you can make this money. So we can get this money. You don't care about my education. You don't care about what I'm doing. You just want me to be here so you can make money off of me. So now let's look at all these kids in special needs and special education. Let's look at how you have to be vaccinated in order to go to school, and then how that causes a whole bunch of other issues that require now teachers' aides and special needs classes and special needs workers and more supervision. They're just using your kids to make more money.
It's all propaganda.
And Lord knows these kids is bad as hell, and we want them to go somewhere for a few hours. But the problem is, you can't just send them anywhere because they come back worse than they left.
If we're going to pivot back to something you said earlier, Kiki, which is, as a tribe of people, we need to realize that we need to start focusing more of self-proprietary, meaning to think about our own community and our own people. Because if you're going to have EB-5 visas, if you're going to have special executive orders given by the government as far as money to leverage and give these people power in America, and you're the last totem pole, you're the one that are living homeless on the street, your people are the ones that are mold people under the ground, and we don't even get a job, and they trying to create all this other stuff, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yes, it is. But in a tribal type setting, you have the community is educating the tribe on what the acceptable behavior is. We have outsiders telling us you can do this. Our tribe says you're stuck with the gender that you were born with, and we don't give a fuck. Our tribe don't care about your feelings because our tribe cannot survive if we don't have anybody to mate our children with so that they can continue on the lineage. Okay, so I understand sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't, but it's just too bad in the tribe. But because we are forced to participate in their system, they want to come and tell the tribe, no, we decided over here that that's okay, so you need to accept it in the tribe. The tribe says you need to find a man that's going to be your life partner before you start producing children. The outside community is saying you don't need a man at all. Matter of fact, just go get pregnant. You don't even need to keep his name because we're going to take care of you. The tribe has a system set up in place where Big Mama and them can watch your kids for you while you go get you a job and go and do what you know what I'm saying? The system tells Big Mama she need her life back and she should be in the club at 65 and not at home watching grandchildren. So this is the tribal thing is what we need to kind of get back to, a collection, a community of families that set up their own traditions. There's no way in hell everybody on the planet can have a shared vision and community and value system. So the way that they make sure we all have the same values is just by making sure we have no values at all. Because they're not gonna say, hey, you degenerate people over here, we want you to rise up to this level so we can all be the same. That's not gonna happen. So we gotta all now stoop down to the level of the degenerates, at the very least tolerate their bullshit and not even comment on it. That's not a sustainable way to live. And at this point, even if they aren't targeting the Black community, the Black community has been infested and infiltrated and degraded and degenerated enough. They don't even have to do nothing else at this point. It's just absolutely ridiculous. You know, that our whole culture and our way of life and things, certain things, you know, we didn't put weave in a child's hair because the celebrities is putting weaves in their kids' hair, so you won't know how Black they really is. You know what I'm saying? Then now that's acceptable. We didn't let our teenage girls at 12, 13, 14 because they want to sing. I watched Moesha back from episode 1, watch that whole series. It was nothing but kids popping up at the little diner to sing, and they had clothes and they looked like teenagers. They looked like children. That's what our tribe believes, that you're supposed to stay in a child's place and save something for later. The outside world says that you as a child can be gyrating and moaning and groaning and beating your face like you a grown-ass woman. So we don't have any control over the minds of our children unless we completely isolate them. And how can you do that? This is all a hot ass mess. Where'd Tabitha go? Her phone must have died or something like that. Well, all right, you guys, we've been on here 2 hours and 42 minutes, and I promised my husband 1 hour.
Tell your husband thank you so much. Hey, you guys, make sure you like and subscribe and share this video and support Kiki Green. She
Thank
is
you.
amazing. That's just my baby sister, so I'm always here to pop in once in a while. But food is for thought and for knowledge, and we want you guys to be informed and to think outside the box and be prepared for the buffoonery that's going to come up here. And how are you going to deal with it? How are you going to embrace it? Are you going to spend your time on this bullshit when you see all this stuff going on?
That's right.
That's just the bottom line. But make sure you like, subscribe, and share this platform and make comments afterwards. Tell us what you think. Tell us what topic you really like and leave that below. That would be great.
Yeah, let us know, because we can't talk about we can't talk about nothing important. So we're gonna have to get creative. Also, last note, you guys, I will be on here on Saturday. We're doing a very special broadcast. I'm kind of trying something out. So I don't want to give it away. Not even because it's that big of a surprise, because I swear to God, they do everything I do on this damn. I mean, everything I do, everything I say, I can't have shit. I can't have shit. I can't have shit. If I tell y'all what we doing, they gonna copy it before we get to Saturday. Okay, so look for the notification on Saturday. I'll try to leave you guys a note. We ain't nailed down the time yet, but it should be very interesting to say the least. Okay, we're gonna figure out some different ways we're gonna repurpose this YouTube thing since they want to play these games. Y'all done got the right one, because I got a million ideas.
Okay, because this is some voice strategy bullshit that they want to keep us on, keep us from having conversations. We didn't last 400 years. Y'all gonna have to try another way. Trust us.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. So at the same time, there's a lot of things that could be used. A live broadcast could be used for other than just shooting the breeze. Now I love to shoot the breeze, so that ain't no, you know what I'm saying. But in addition to that, there's other things we can be doing, and it's always been important to me to share my platform with you guys who support me. Watching, sharing, liking the video, all of that. That's important. Like, even if you don't donate money, you watching it and giving the algorithm some type of engagement. You know what I'm saying? So how I give back is, if you guys have something that you're promoting, if you have a business you're trying to start up, if you have something, if there's some type of knowledge that I could personally give you to help you in your personal individual endeavors outside of YouTube, y'all know I'm here for that. And if that includes sharing my platform, then let's do it. As long as you ain't a Democrat. That's my one requirement. Just don't be a Democrat.
I totally agree.
Because ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so we got some cool stuff planned for you. Me and my group chat, we got a project that we're working on for y'all too. So you guys just sit back and then we're gonna put these things out here, and then after I do it, then everybody else will do it. We know who did it first, but that's gonna help to steer to trying to steer this thing, because if you can tell, YouTube is lost and they don't know what to do with themselves, and they have elevated all these ratchet gossip channels and all this other type of shit, trying to drown out people with actual information and all of that. But there's a million things that we could be doing with YouTube. Okay, a million. So this should get interesting. So look out for that on Saturday. Thank you very much, Shirley. Shirley Hughstar has a channel on YouTube. Make sure you guys go subscribe to her as well. My girl Tab, that was on here earlier. Tab has a channel has a podcast as well. So if you want to plug the podcast, I believe you can find them on Facebook. Go ahead and plug that in the chat too, so I can let them know where to find you. Shirley, you got anything else you want to add before we disconnect here?
They say knowledge is power. Be conscious of the Biden plan that there's out right now. If you like Biden or not, they're throwing money all in the street. Go get paid, my people. Do your homework. There's a guy called Meet Kevin, and he's talking about the infrastructural plan. And that plan, they're getting all kind of money given to the people. So, this administration is going to put us in heavy, heavy debt. Go get paid. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, thank you. And Tab, if you wanted to call in real quick and say, I didn't see your message. She had got disconnected. If you wanted to come on here real quick and give some last comments or something, then that's fine too. Envy said, good night, Shirley.
Thank you for your Ernie. Thank you for all.
You're welcome.
Good night.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. I'm just waiting a minute to see if Tabitha got my message because she hadn't hit me up and said she got disconnected. That's okay? Okay. She said, that's all right, y'all. Good night. All right, you guys. Well, love you guys. Talk to y'all later.
Good night, people.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.